One day, a boy is hard at work in a mine, and he eventually finds what he was searching for all this time: ink. He puts it in a flask and thanks Nero for his help, as he couldn't have done it without it. If he brings this back to them, perhaps this time the Pioneer Corps will finally accept him. He gets out of the damp cave and sees his city, the bright and shining jewel of this world. Inside, the colorists have finally come back from their mission, and everyone cheers for them. The people think their vibrant colors are amazing, and they even heard they took down another large creature. As long as these guys are around, the shining city will stay safe forever. Inside the Shadow District, a lot of people are gathered, as a C-rank Pioneer Corps entrance exam is taking place, and anyone with any color can apply. The guy from before is kicked out, however, as they have told him countless times already. This is not a place for somebody like him. He gets mad and demands to know why. He even brought some ink. Just what is the problem? He proved he is capable with this. The man can't believe that he has to spell it out for him. He is colorless. Everyone is born with a predetermined role, but sometimes, an idiot like him doesn't know their place. He raises his hand and throws a fiery strike near the guy. He should get it through his thick head that being a pioneer is something only the chosen ones can do. The weaklings cannot survive in the Black Land. Outside this city, everything is covered in black, and he can't even see an inch ahead. In that darkness lurk all kinds of dangerous creatures. They risk their lives to pioneer the unknown, and find treasures and needed resources. They risk their lives for the future of humanity. They are the true heroes here. So, someone colorless like him could never do it. If he is colorless, he will do colorless work. With that, they close the gates on him, and Nero tries to provide some comfort. He says it's fine. There are still other places to try. This happens a lot anyway. He's used to it. After all, he promised to become the greatest colorist. With that, he tucks the creatures back in his coat so that nobody sees it, and goes to try someplace else. As he does that though, someone watches him from above, taking a very keen interest. The boy tries again and again, but he finds no luck. Another day of the same, unfortunately. He goes to Mari's workshop, who greets him, and notes that he must have been rejected again, since he has such a long face. He confirms as such, and Nero jumps at her side. She notes that those guys have no eye for talent. He would be stronger than most pioneers. The boy is mad that they won't take in colorless people no matter what they do. Mari is surprised too, as he manages to get things from the Black Land just fine. His skills are already plenty proven. The boy thinks it's because Nero helps him, and asks if she can buy from him again. Mari agrees, and notes that she will give him a good price for it. She's been really short on ink as of late. It's been quite the pickle. The boy notes that they keep talking about raising the number of pioneers because of that problem. Their way of life depends on that ink after all. He wishes they would take him already, as he's ready to work hard. Mari asks Kay if he thought about what they talked about before, but he doesn't know what to think about it. That kind of place is strange. She slams a piece of paper on the table, telling him that he has to try everything he can. He never knows the result, and it's a great opportunity. Kay looks at it. Until now, he has hesitated to apply because he thought he would surely fail. He wonders if his skills will even work there. Mari believes this is a great opportunity, so he should give it a shot. If this is truly merit-based, then they will definitely recognize him. He wants to become a pioneer, right? He's been saying so since he was little, and they will always support him, no matter what. Kay thinks she's right. He's in no position to be picky now. He will apply to these Dawn Pioneer guys too. He thanks Mari, and notes that he will come again soon. As he walks through the streets and reads the pamphlet, Nero begins growling, as the same bastard that was watching him is now at his back, and unleashes a mighty strike, cutting Kay's back, and he falls on his face. One of them is surprised he's still alive, but the one who attacked notes it doesn't matter. He will die soon, and nobody will care if a colorless dies anyway. Nero crawls up to his face and begins to cry, and in the last moments of consciousness, Kay hopes that it runs away. He eventually wakes up somewhere completely abandoned, and the guy who hit him notes that it's some rotten luck he has. Now he will fall into that place alive. This is the waste produced when all colors of ink mix together. It is extremely lethal to humans. If he falls in, there won't even be any remains to bury. Basically, it's the best place to dispose of bodies. Kay takes a deep breath and demands to know why he was even attacked. The guy admits he was shocked too, but who knew that they would find such a treasure in the Shadow District? A creature, intelligent enough to follow a human. This is an indubitably rare existence, and expensive too. Upon seeing Nero, Kay begins to try and fight back, but the attacker knows a colorless like him can't do anything at this point. If they put that thing on the black market, they can retire. It's way too good for a colorless like him. Kay damns himself. He was far too careless. He shouldn't have let his guard down. He always faced contempt and discrimination, But why, for such a stupid reason, are they taking away Nero, his own family? For the first time in his mind, he gets truly mad, and with a black mist, the attacker knows that something is happening. It feels like he's being sucked out. He throws Kay, noting that they wasted enough time as it is. They should hurry now and sell that thing. Under all that muck, Kay's mind stays on Nero, but his body won't move anymore. Truly, does his life end so pathetically? That promise he still has not kept. Suddenly a voice calls for him, asking why he is lying there, just standing there. Kay asks who it is, and 1,000 words pop up in his mind, with one last commandment to end it all. He will reclaim his color. With that, all the black gets swept up, and Kay's vision becomes clear. He wonders what happened, as he was in the ink, but even before that, he doesn't remember. Who is he? Suddenly he hears Nero, remembering that he had to save it. Kay puts his hand forward, and the attackers are both shocked, as in an instant, that ink disappeared, and that came out. Above them is what they are really afraid of, a creature made out of spiteful ink that is charging its deadly hand towards them. After the incident, an old man screams at the authorities, noting that he saw everything with his own eyes. A giant, dark hand just shot out of nowhere and wrecked the entire area. Naturally, they aren't listening to a word of it, and 2 investigators, one with red hair and one with purple hair, look on at the victims. Luckily, these guys were the only ones, and they are B-rank pioneers with not the best of reputations. The purple-haired investigator still can't understand it though. What happened that made them lose all of their color like this? The red-haired investigator thinks it's pretty important, but they should set that aside for now, as they are here because of the giant creature that appeared inside the city. Suddenly, the officer chief arrives, noting that it's an honor to meet them. He is the one in charge here. But what brings someone as busy as them to the Shadow District? The red-haired investigator tells him that there is no need to be nervous. They are here on a creature investigation request. He'd like to take a look around the incident site, so could he guide him? The officer in charge immediately points them towards where it happened, and they look around, immediately finding creature traces around the entire area. Black ink. The purple-haired investigator notes that they're tracking the locations of all recent large creature sightings, but for one to suddenly show up inside the city, even if it was from the outskirts, it's just too odd. Usually in this city, the only creatures that pop up are harmless little types like cats, rats, and birds. If this is some kind of new mutation, what will they do? The red-haired colorist tells her not to jump to conclusions just yet. More importantly, how do they even track that thing? This has really become a headache he would rather not be busy with, but there is nobody else who can do it. Eventually, Kay begins to wake up as Nero licks his head, and he immediately grabs him, asking if he's all right. He is really glad to see that he is, but also wonders just what happened. It was definitely because of those guys. He fell into that ink, and then something happened. That's when he slowly begins to remember what he did, and he looks at his hands, seeing that he actually has color, and even his hair is dyed the darkest shade of black out there. How is something like this even possible? How could he gain color all of a sudden? Why is it so dark in this place? He can't really see anything. He tells Nero to help out a bit, and the little creature jumps in the air before unleashing a beam of powerful light, revealing that they were being watched all this time by ink creatures. Kay's heart immediately sinks to his stomach. Where is this? Isn't this the Black Land? This is the Black Forest, a place only B-rank pioneers and above could ever reach. It seems that the beasts are already swarming him, so he tells Nero that they should get out of here and books it. As they continue running, Nero becomes his guide, signaling any incoming danger and telling him where to go by shining his light. However, as Kay continues running, he feels an incredible feeling. His body just feels too amazing. He's been running for ages, but he is not even tired. He can move way faster and much more nimbly too. He is basically bursting at the seams with energy. Suddenly though, an ink wolf catches him by surprise, and because he is still off balance, he can't really dodge. He is forced to put his hand up as a form of defense, but as soon as the wolf clasps its jaws onto his hand, its teeth simply break, surprising both of them, and so the wolf runs away. Kay is surprised to see that he is fine. He really thought that would be a fatal hit. Is this the true power of color? Nero meows at him for a bit, as there is something much larger coming, which is an actual cyclops, a much more dangerous being than the creatures of this forest. Why is this top predator from the deep forest in a place like this? The cyclops raises his fist in the air and smashes it into Kay, sending him flying toward a bunch of roots. Seeing this, Nero immediately jumps toward him, but he seems to be fine. Kay should be scared now, but for some reason, he feels like he can really win. He finally got the color he always wanted. Things will definitely be different now. He does not have to run or hide anymore. He slowly remembers that feeling. That surge of power he unleashed then, now he unleashes it in a much more controlled manner. The Cyclops charges at him, ready to turn him into mist, but K simply cocks back his fist and jumps in, creating a gigantic hole through the Cyclops and shaking the entire forest. As he looks on at the forest, however, K begins to see it in a much different light. He can see the color of the entire forest, the vibrancy of the leaves and the sloshing of the crystal in the water. Suddenly, though, his power disappears as fast as it appeared, and he falls to the ground, losing his color entirely from his body. Now he understands that the more power he uses, the more it runs out. If something like this keeps up, what will he do? Suddenly, that voice in his head begins talking to him, asking why he is even standing there. His prey is right in front of him, right? He should hurry up and devour it. The color he seeks is right in front of him. It's simple. He just needs to reach out his hand and consume. K, in his restless state, does just that. He puts a hand on the Cyclops' remains, and suddenly all of the ink seeps into him like a singularity that threatens to devour the entire forest. After doing so, he lets out a sigh of relief, as that was really close. Too close. Eventually, he makes his way to Mari's workshop, where she doesn't recognize him at first because he is covered up. She asks him what brings him here. Does he want to put in a request or something? Kei simply approaches, and Mari notes that he seems super suspicious right now, and if he dares to come any closer, she'll bless him. Kei decides to scare her, and she immediately cowers behind her large ranch, so Kei tells her to calm down, as it's him, but he guesses that she doesn't recognize him anymore, right? Mari is confused, but that voice, it's Kei. What the hell happened to him? After he explains what transpired, she grabs her tools in a fit of rage and notes that she is extremely mad. She cannot let those bastards get away with it. People like that need a taste of this hammer. Kei calms her down, saying it's fine. He already paid them back more than enough. Mari apologizes, saying she got a little worked up. Indeed, she lost contact with him, and she was worried. She never thought something like that would ever happen, but in all seriousness, she's really glad to see the two of them safe. Kei apologizes for worrying her, but Mari still finds it hard to believe. First, he fell into ink waste, and now he's ended up with color too. Black is the color of the creatures. Won't people look at him more badly than before? Kei doesn't know, and what's done is done. He can't help it now. The important thing is he finally has an actual shot at becoming a colorist. He'll worry about the rest later. First, he's going to head straight to the Pioneer Corps entrance exam. Since he got back just in time for the date, can he also borrow some clothes or gear? He will definitely pay her back this time. Mari wonders how many times he's asked this now. However, she will think of it as an investment for a future colorist. She leads him inside, noting that she's actually got just the thing for him. It will suit him perfectly, actually. A lot of people gather for the Pioneer Corps entrance exam, with a group noting that this is nerve-wracking. There are too many people here. Another notes that they need to just stay sharp and not freak out. And one notes that it's normal to be nervous. With competition like this, it will certainly be intense. The first examinee notes that he can't believe the day has come for them to take the Dawn Pioneer Corps exam. They really made it, didn't they? Another red-haired examinee notes that getting into a top Pioneer Corps is whatever every pioneer dreams of, especially since they've conquered more of the Black Land than anyone else. As an S-rank team, the Dawn Corps has several colorists too. They really are called the shining hope of this city, which means that there are a ton of big names here too. There's the daughter of a famous traditional color family, a big-time bounty hunter, and even a few up-and-coming, well-known pioneers. That guy right there, that's the most popular one here. That's Gale, the Storm Sword. He is basically guaranteed to pass. He has heard that he is so skilled that he has even taken down creatures all alone. But with that violent temper of his, he gets in trouble quite a lot. Word is he got kicked out of his last corps, and now he is here. The first examinee asks why he's so scared. With a bit of training, even those guys wouldn't stand a chance against him. As they banter, Gale listens in and thinks they are just a bunch of show-offs talking big with no skills to show. This is really lame. He expected better from an S-rank corps, but this is all they've got. There is literally nobody who stands out, except that girl next to him, Ellie Cyan. She's the second daughter of the Cyan family, isn't she? Just like in the rumors. Her color really isn't bad, so he is curious to see how she will react. Before he can do anything, the announcement is given that they are about to start the Dawn Pioneer Corps entrance exam. The colorists from the Dawn Corps appear, and people are speaking out. They've heard they played a big part in taking down that huge creature recently. If the colorists are here in person, they must be really serious about this year's recruitment, huh? For some of them, though, it's the first time they've seen a colorist up close, so they are super intimidating. The yellow-haired colorist welcomes them, thanking them for applying to the Dawn Pioneer Corps. He is sure they all came here with their own goals and reasons. whether it's money, fame, or power. But honestly, it does not really matter. At the end of the day, they still need real skills, and that is what they care about. They want truly outstanding people who can head into the Black Land and win back the territory of humanity. There is no room for mediocrity here, so they should not waste time and get started. They probably guessed by looking around, but the first test will be held as a tournament. No matter what, combat ability is the most important thing for a pioneer outside the city. It is survival of the fittest. If they are weak, they will die. It is the law of the jungle. They will prove what they can do here. They'll use the tournament results to pick out those who pass round 1. If their number is called, they should please get on the stage. Gale's number is called, and someone else's. People are surprised that they'll see a star fighting from the beginning. They kind of feel bad for his opponent. Gale thinks that he is lucky he gets to enjoy the show from the beginning. He was actually bored out of his mind, but he wonders how he should play with his opponent. As he gets on stage, he finds a rather creepy-looking guy covered by a cloak. He's standing pretty weirdly and looks totally weak. It doesn't really matter, since it's been boring with nothing going on as of late. In a stage like this, there is no need to hold back, right? He immediately activates his storm sword, and people are shocked to see him handle a spout this well at that age. No wonder everyone is calling him a genius. Gale tells his opponent to come and try to block, and if he can't, he will be sliced into pieces. Seeing this, his opponent, as soon as Gale approaches, punches him so hard in the jaw that he sends Gale flying into the wall, shocking everyone. How in the hell did he do that in one hit? He took down Gale in one hit. How is that even possible? Kay notes that this really startled him. Why did things suddenly escalate like that? People are immediately shocked upon seeing his black hair, as that is the color of creatures. Is that even a color someone can have? Even the storm sword was taken out in one shot by the power of black ink. Kay, however, isn't really acting nonchalant about this. He just wonders why everyone is so quiet. Perhaps he messed up something. The incoming fights Kay has to win are won with practiced ease. A guy who tries to throw rocks at him gets punched out easily, and the same with his other 2 opponents. They really offer no challenge. The colorists think that this kid looks really promising. He stands out a lot among this year's participants. It's a first. No one has ever had a black color before. The words are going to get out soon, so they should grab this first chance and claim him. Suddenly, someone arrives, noting that they have been working hard. It's Chief Red. What an original name. He asks how the tests are going and notes that he was just passing by the colorist with yellow hair, who asks why he even came here. He heard he went off for a special assignment, didn't he? I read notes that it was stuck, going nowhere, and it was a headache too, so he decided to take a break anyway. Are there any good picks this time around? One of the colors is confirmed as such. It's not just the Cyan family, but also a really unique guy with black hair. It seems that he noticed already. He even took out one of the top contenders by a landslide. One could say his acceptance is already pretty much certain, isn't it? The purple-haired colorist wonders if it's actually him, and Red guesses that a new color is popping up after a weird incident. That certainly is pretty convenient timing. For now, though, they should just keep watch and see what he can do. Kay is pleased. He has a winning streak. He can definitely become a pioneer. However, he still needs to be careful. If he loses his color like before from overusing it, he will really be in trouble. Suddenly, he is distracted by a surge of powerful ice, as Ellie takes down another contender with extreme ease. People around them talk, noting that the Cyan family's color is just breathtaking, as it always was. She got real skills, as one would expect from a prestigious family. It is truly impressive. She wonders if anyone could beat her as she walks down from the stage and past Kay, staring at him a bit before walking off, kind of confusing him. The yellow-haired colorist announces that the first round is over. He thanks everyone for their hard work, and notes that since they are running late, they will move straight to the next test. If they are eliminated, they should please head back and try again another time. The examinees don't make much of a fuss and leave, hoping that next year will be easier. Before the yellow-haired colorist can announce the next test, Red tells him to wait, as he would like to run this one. Everyone is surprised when they see him, as he is one of the Shining City's top colorists. He has the most achievements reclaiming and hunting back in the Black Land. His power is so destructive that even other colorists avoid teaming up with him. Rumor has it that when he is in charge, nobody passes. They are really in trouble, aren't they? The yellow-haired colorist asks if this is wise. The core leader won't be happy about this, as changing the test, however, is a bit of a privilege. Red says it's fine. He will get nagged every day anyway, so what's a little more nagging? He tells everyone that the test is simple. They just need to endure. Suddenly, he unleashes his color onto everyone and traps them in fiery bubbles. He explains that he has recreated part of an environment he once experienced. It will get pretty hot. The Black Land has all sorts of brutal environments. People can barely manage to survive in them. Compared to those, what he has just used is as cozy as a heated room. This is easy. They just need to hold on, and they pass. But if it's too much, they never had a chance anyway. Almost immediately, most of the examinees are shocked, as this is too hot. Just how bad is the Black Land supposed to be? They try to claw at the power with their own color, but it barely makes a scratch, and daring is literally all they can do. The yellow-haired colorist heard that Red has been slacking off on training lately, but his skills haven't gotten rusty at all. Maybe the rumors aren't true after all, as he is giving everyone a barrier in an instant. What incredible control. Well, that's what reaching the top is like, isn't it? Suddenly though, and pretty naturally, Ellie breaks out of her barrier with ease, using her icy color. Even with an ability that's the exact opposite of the Cyan family, she broke right through. That kid really is a genius. Red also looks on at the other guy with black hair. He seems to still be hanging in there, but he can't really break out, huh? Well, maybe he shouldn't have expected too much on the first try. Kay, however, is reeling, as this is really bad. What does he even do? He used up way too much color in that last fight. He should have saved some instead of going all out like a dumbass. He damns it all. The longer he holds out, the faster his color drains. It's already leaving him slowly. If people here see him go colorless, they will treat him like a test subject, or even worse. He cannot just stand here. There has to be another way. Is there anything he could absorb? Like last time. That's when he thinks of absorbing the actual shield. It is made of color power after all, so maybe he can. He's not sure how far this absorption goes, and even if it's sitting hot, he still has to try. He puts his hand on the shield, and suddenly, all of the color from all of the shields gets dragged right into his hand, twirling around him like a catalyst. Red is shocked at first, but then smiles, as this time they really found the crazy one. Everyone just stares, completely silent, as Kay, who naturally is pretty scared, looks on. This is not what he planned at all. He stood out way too much this time. For Ellie, this test meant a lot. She wanted to prove the power she'd trained so hard for. The arrival of a totally new color no one has ever seen has stolen the spotlight. She could not help but feel a bit anxious inside. Her family has always taught her she had to be the very best, so she never wanted to fall behind anyone, especially not if it would upset her sister. That guy Kay was too strong. Even if she went all out, she wouldn't be sure she'd win. There is a feeling about him that you can't just call strong. It's something much more than that. Just who is he? It doesn't even matter who he is. Next time she won't lose like this. Red approaches Kay and notes that this must be the power of black ink, huh? Even the shine is different. He just swallowed everything up. He is way too curious right now. So could he mind telling him more about that power of his? They could have a private chat, and he will respect his privacy too. Kay asks about the test, but Red tells him not to worry about it. He definitely passed. He will sit for it if that's the case. Kay, surprised, passed. Did getting noticed actually help him? Maybe he is finally a pioneer. Red tells the yellow-haired pioneer that he will leave everything up to them, but the yellow-haired pioneer tells him that the test isn't even over. He is just going to do his own thing again, isn't he? Red promises to make it up, and the yellow-haired pioneer relents. He apologizes for the other examiner's interruption, but the tests will continue on, except for number 17, who broke through on her own. The rest will move on to an extra round. Ellie would want to be happy. However, her gaze is locked onto the retreating Kay and Red. Before long, they arrive at a place Kay is very familiar with, where he fell into that ink waste. Red explains that it's pretty rough. There was an incident here not long ago. 2 pioneers, both once color holders, turned colorless here. That was a first for them, according to a few white eye witnesses. Some said they saw a giant creature pop out of the ground, and right after that, he showed up as the first ever black ink. That's some pretty crazy timing, with the power to absorb colors too. Something's totally different about him, isn't it? Kay tries to avert his gaze, but this guy has him figured out from the start. Can he run from him? There's no way he could. This guy is even called a hero amongst other colorists. Red, seeing his flustered face, holds a dismissive hand up, noting that he was just teasing him, but that him being honest really isn't that fun. His job is to figure out what happened here, but what he is really interested in is his ability, that black ink in his power. It's nothing like he has ever seen before. Color abilities seem simple, but they usually cannot be mixed. However, his power ignores all of those rules. Judging by the second test, he can't really fully control it either, which is why he ended up swallowing everything around him. Kay can't deny it, but Red actually wants to give him a proper test. Doesn't he want to know what his power can really do? How it works? He should grab his hand and try absorbing some of his own ink. Kay immediately refuses. What if something goes wrong? Red tells him not to worry about him. He should talk less and take more action. That's how a colorist acts after all. Red thinks that black symbolizes the Black Land, and the Black Witch too. It is a sign of this misfortune. It swallows all. Letting a power like this run unchecked is not wise. If used the wrong way, it could shake the entire foundation of this city. One more thing though, it is not public yet. There are even human-shaped creatures out there in the wild. If K turned out to be one of them, he might have to take him out right here and right now. K eventually relents and grabs his hand, noting that he will do it. But if something goes wrong, it is not his fault. Alright? With that, he begins to seep his power, immediately filling the red ink into his very soul, which sears him entirely. He tries to stop, as he cannot control the temperature. It's like there's lava flowing inside of him. This guy's power is overwhelming. It's bottomless. This is the color of a hero called Red, isn't it? Red, however, is not that impressed. It's absorbing non-stop, like it's starving or something. It is still true that most strong colorists could probably resist it, but for nearly everyone else, this would be incredibly dangerous, and there's more to it than what they saw during the tests. He wants to see how he actually uses the color he absorbs. Suddenly, that red color ink just explodes out of K, and he gains an entirely new look, a look that makes him appear exactly as a creature would. He definitely was the one behind this event. There's a lot he needs to figure out about him, but first things first. Before things get out of hand, he will have to restrain him before he can attack. Though K begins to growl and scream out against this power, the voice in his head notes that this is intense. He wants more. He needs this overwhelming strength. It's hot. It's so flavorful. He needs more. K, however, begins shutting the voice out, telling it to stand down. By sheer force of willpower, he actually manages to call himself and suppress it entirely. Shocking Red, K thought he was really a goner back there. He suddenly lost control. What was that about? He lost it in front of the colorist, of all people. He really needs to learn what his ability is about soon. He approaches and notes that the power was a bit overwhelming, but at least it kind of worked, right? Red notes that this is pretty exciting, honestly, and notes that it's good. That's enough for a test. By the way, he probably noticed he is handling everything that has happened in this place since he was hired. He has to find out who is responsible, and he has a very suspicious person right in front of him. There is a pretty big interest in this case. Plus, with his powers and color, he would be a prime suspect if people heard even a rumor. Although it happened on the outskirts of the city, damages are probably well into the millions. He could even handle something like that. Never mind the money, but the city authorities might just banish him or worse, use him as a test subject. K relents. There really is no way out, is there? He is a victim here too, though. Just what is he? What's he supposed to do? Red, however, tries to play it off, noting that if he joined up with him, perhaps he could help him out. K immediately agrees, bowing down, and Red tells him that this doesn't mean he will fix everything for him. He will just have a few requests he can help with. Can he handle something like that? K thinks that there is no chance he will pay a ridiculous fine or end up as some sort of lab rat. He will do anything if he can just work this off. He agrees to do whatever it takes, and that's exactly what the Red wanted to hear. As he drives off in a reinforced vehicle that looks more like a ship than anything, K thinks he's never been this far before. Is this the first step of being a pioneer? Gale, who is also in the vehicle with him, tells him he is making him nervous and should stop being a distraction and just sit down. K thinks that starting real pioneer work is exactly what he hoped for, and he is a team member with Gale and the others. But is something like this really happening? Before all this, Red told him he'd want him to join an exploration. He's got a spot picked out in an unexplored area, and it looks like he would definitely need his help. Seeing his worried face, Red told him he wasn't going to be alone. He needn't worry that much. All the new recruits were sent to join, so he is basically just one of them. The Corps will announce the expedition plan really soon. Details will come then. He just needs to be on time and show up at the designated spot. When he got on the vehicle, these guys were already waiting for him. Red's interference shook up the entire exam process, so to keep things fair, everyone got another shot. That's how a bunch of strong contenders passed the extra test. And the top scorer, Ellie, asked to join Red's team herself. Gale notes that he can't believe he got embarrassed by this clueless bastard. He just let his guard down for 1 second. Just one. Next time, he shouldn't count on being lucky again. When this exploration ends, he will be ready. If Lavian hadn't been right behind him, right now, he would have crushed him in this spot. Ellie tells him to drop it. He would just get knocked out again anyway. He is wasting his breath. K is way out of his league. Additionally, she is the one who will be challenging him first. They made eye contact before, and both agreed. So if he lost, he should keep quiet and wait his turn. K never actually agreed to that. The eye contact was just consent, and seeing the energies between the two, he wonders if this really will work out. They arrived at a Dawn Pioneer outpost, which is quite mechanized and orderly. When K went out to the Black Land before, He always prepped solo, so he had no idea it was like this. S-Class Core really does things. Big supply setup, everything. Suddenly someone pokes his cheek, asking why he is spacing out. Kei is really glad to see Mari. She actually came, and she confirmed as such. She had to be here for his first mission, right? Nero is here as well. Kei thanks her for looking after him while he's gone, and she says it's nothing, and Nero's part of her family too. Plus, joining Dawn Corps Expedition is an awesome opportunity for her. Her skills will definitely come in handy, so it will definitely be a great experience to learn. Suddenly someone calls that it's assembly time, so everyone should gather over here as planned. They will be entering the Black Land really soon. Kei hands Nero back to her, and notes that he should get going. Mari tells him not to be reckless, and tells the squirming Nero not to be sad, as Kei will be back really soon. Suddenly though, Nero just jumps out of her hand, and seeps into his shadow, surprising her. She wonders what is going on, but at this point she can't really stop Kei, so it should be fine, right? A woman with bright orange hair tells everyone to get ready, as they are just about to head into the Black Land. They should remember that safety always comes first, no matter the mission. According to the scouts, Area 21 has had reports of unknown, dangerous creatures. It is also where the corpse of an A-rank creature was found, so this is an extremely dangerous place. As she tells everyone to stay sharp, someone calling her Lady Arancia comes running, noting that Chief Red has taken the new recruits and left their assigned formation without permission. Her eyes widen, and she asks if it is true, which the man confirms. She scratches her head, as she can't really believe him. They will need to bring those rookies back home safe, it seems. As Red's team enters the Black Land, Kei notes that the expedition team is heading somewhere else. Is he really okay with them being here? Red tells him that their destination is different, but Kei really doesn't like this, as all the rookies are together too. Why are they even taking them along? Red himself notes that it wasn't his plan to hand-feed just about anyone, but with him here, they won't get seriously hurt. He probably knows that already, right? Well, enough talking. They should move now. They end up in a clearing with a bunch of shadowy ink beasts and immediately get to work. Ellie uses her cyan ink to take them down with ease, but now understands this is the Black Land. The place is suffocating, and creatures keep pouring in from every single corner. This real fight is nothing like her training. She'd better watch her energy too. If she wastes it, she will run out fast. She has to move more sharply and think ahead. At least she won't hide behind Kei. Suddenly though, as she sees him manhandling a beast, her eyes widen, and she asks if he doesn't use a spoit. He didn't use one even at the entrance test. Kei just looks at her, confused, and notes that he just doesn't have one. They're extremely expensive, and he figured he could do without it, so he never really used one. The two are extremely confused. He never really used one. Spoit is a must-have weapon for pioneers fighting any creature. To take down these creatures, you need to mix colors into it with a spoit, but this guy just took them down barehanded. Gale began to shake. Then he went up against the guy who doesn't even use a spoit and couldn't even scratch him even a little bit. He gets even more fired up and vows to crush Kei with his own hands someday. Seeing this, Red just smirks. This really isn't bad. It takes two geniuses to get fired up like this, right? Things are certainly going to get more interesting. Anyway, he tells them to come on. They're almost there, so they should push just a little more. They will finish this place fast, and then celebrate. After defeating a bunch more ink monsters, Red gives them a quick break. They haven't even started yet, so they shouldn't let their guard down. They should regroup on their own for 10 minutes, then they will head out again. Gale pulls out a vial, noting that he can't believe he went through so much color so fast. Kei peers over and sees that he is drinking personal ink. It's a special, alchemically refined ink that restores color and energy. It is a pioneer's essential item. It's custom made to match each person's unique color, so it is rather expensive, and they're just chugging it like it's nothing. He really is jealous. Well, it's not like he needs it anyway. Ellie sees him going away and asks what he is doing before he simply devours the ink beasts they killed before. With that, he should be fully recovered. That's really nice. Ellie asks if he's okay, and he says he is totally fine. He has done this plenty of times already. Ellie is kind of confused. He just absorbed the creature, and nothing's wrong. Gale thinks that this guy is actually insane. He just takes that in like it's nothing. Before they can speculate more, Red tells them that their break is over. They've rested enough, right? They should move. As they are here now, they eventually find some sort of black barrier, and Kei wonders what this even is. Red explains that this is why he brought him here specifically. He should see for himself. He unleashes a red blast toward the barrier. It just dissipates if one tries to break it with force. This thing absorbs that power, and it gets even tougher. This absorption part, it's similar to his ability, isn't it? That's why he had a hunch his power could remove that barrier. Inside the barrier is a path to the ruins, and in those ruins they need to find their mission objective, which is Stella fragments. Kay's eyes widen as he hears this, and the others wonder what the Stella fragment even is, but Kay remains silent. Red just tells them it's something Shining City is desperate to find, which he will explain later. For now, they should try to get rid of that barrier first. Kay goes up to the barrier and touches it, and immediately it begins to vortex into him, making Red crack a genuine smile. This really is working, he says. That barrier is disappearing. It seems that his power is going to be really useful from now on. Suddenly, though, the others feel some kind of vibration that is way too loud. If they make this much noise, before they can even finish, an entire army of ink beasts appears, attracted by the sound. Red expected something like that. An entire crowd showed up to cheer them on. They will handle these creatures while Kay takes down the barrier. He orders the two to sweep them all out. Gale moves in, unleashing his wind-like ink to shred the monsters to pieces, and Ellie does the same, summoning glaciers to impale the monsters with. Red is impressed. He was ready to step in if needed, but it seems like there is no need at all. He figured he'd have to clean up after these rookies, but they are good enough to bring along alone. Well, it is nice to have things handle themselves, isn't it? As Kay continues absorbing, he feels that something is off. What does he feel? A similar power coming from the barrier. Is it because it's also black? If he loses focus for even a moment, it might steal his color instead. This is a power struggle, but he is stronger. Pushing once more, he absorbs the entire area barrier, revealing the entrance to the ruins, which seems more like a bottomless pit than anything. He tells Red that he did it, who is pleased to hear it, and knows that his instincts were right after all. He tells the others that the barrier is down, and they should take it easy and regroup over here. There is no need to finish them all off. Suddenly, though, his eyes widen as a white light appears in the sky, and he grabs Ellie and Gale before they are shredded to pieces by a strike that sunders the very earth below them. Gale is shocked at what he is seeing. A bunch of scratch marks on the ground, like something was trying to kill them. Red sizes him up. He knew things were going too smoothly. He got reports about a dangerous entity in this area, but of course that thing had to show up now. It looks like there is no time to mess around anymore. This ink monster looks more like a human than anything, and wields a bunch of weapons behind him. He is a spirit of vengeance. Red tells them to listen up, and head into the ruins right now. They should work together and find the Stella fragments. They are more than capable of doing something like this. Kay wonders how they can do it alone, but Red just pushes him into it. Noting that they don't have time to talk, Kay still screams, wondering what they are supposed to do on their own. But Red's entire attention is now focused on the ink demon in front of him. This will be a battle for the ages. When Kay lands, he thinks that his whole body hurts. Red could have been more gentle. He activates the lamp Red gave him, and his eyes widen as he sees something dreadful. A bunch of buildings unknown to him, but they are entirely modern. He thinks this is awe-inspiring. He can't believe a place like this exists so deep underground. The others pop out too, Gale noting that it's too dark, but Ellie tells him to quit his whining and head toward that glowing spot. Kay is glad to see them. He thought he was the only one who got lost. Ellie notes that they were just wandering around because of this bastard, but Gale thinks she was just as bad, having rounded the same corner 3 times anyway. What even is this place? It's way bigger than he thought. He never imagined they would find traces of an ancient civilization under this place. They called those things Stella fragments, right? How are they supposed to find things like that in ruins this huge? They don't even know what it looks like. Kay thinks that's a fair point. If they just look around blindly, they will be here forever. In times like this, he really wishes he could have Nero. Suddenly though, Nero, sensing his summons, clamps on his leg, surprising him. He crouches down to him and asks what he's doing here. But Ellie also notices, is that an ink creature? Kay thinks he's screwed. What does he do in this situation? It's already been seen. So no point in trying to make excuses, but it doesn't really matter, does it? This might actually be a good chance. It's not like he could hide Nero forever while working as a pioneer anyway. If he can show them that Nero is actually useful, then maybe they'll be lenient. He tells the two to come here for a sec, as he may have found an easy way to track down the Stella fragments. After some explaining, Gale tries to reason with it. Basically, that little creature is the one he's been taking care of, and it's going to lead them into the Stella fragment. Kay confirms as such. They'll definitely find it. As they both bicker, Ellie chooses to ignore everything and serenely basks in Nero's presence, who is a little bit confused and getting annoyed. Kay tells Nero that they should get to it and show this idiot how amazing he is. With that, Nero jumps out of Ellie's hands and turns into a white glowing light, surprising Gale, although Ellie feels kind of saddened about this. As they continue to follow Kay, Gale thinks this is incredible. This is a creature that follows a human and even has a special ability. He has never heard of something like this. Kay thinks that Nero can feel it, right? That the Stella fragment is somewhere around here, isn't it? Hearing this, Nero narrows down his senses and eventually finds something, a fragment of white ink. He begins charging toward it. They all follow it into what seems like a bunker. They've already gone pretty far down. So how much deeper do they have to go? Gale asks what he's hesitating over. Is he scared or something? If so, he can stay behind. Kay doesn't think so. As they make their way inside, they are met with a rather large area, which seems to be some sort of storage, although they wouldn't know it. Nero suddenly changes directions and stops by what appears to be a door. But suddenly, a robotic figure appears, crashing to the ground before him with amazing power. Gale thinks that Kay's little monster did find something, but what the hell is it? It doesn't even look like a creature, more like a mechanism of some sort. Suddenly, it begins scanning Ellie, and immediately identifies her precise hex color code. It moves on to Gale, doing the same thing. Kay guesses what it's doing, but as it scans him, the robot stops and sees that his hex number is just 0. The color of the Black Witch has been detected. He is now classified as a threat, so the robot begins removal by punching him hard. Kay managed to block this strike with his arms. As the others charge in from behind, Kay pushes his fist into the robot, pushing it back slightly. What is this damn thing made of? Before the robot can attack again, Ellie strikes with her power, and Gale does the same, but it doesn't even leave a scratch on it. Maybe this thing is not a creature, as her strengths aren't working at all. Is that ink in its core the weak point? They will need to hit it no matter what. Kay moves in and unleashes a strike at the robot's side, but it doesn't get affected at all, and tries to strike Kay again, who has barely seconds to dodge. He can see that regular attacks don't do a damn thing. So what now? Wait, he coats himself in black like last time. It should really work, right? It burns true color like crazy though, so he will just wrap his fist in black, which he can do after a few seconds. As the robot tries to attack him, he unleashes the strike, completely eviscerating the robot and leaving its core intact. However, with that, the robot powers down. Kay leaves a sigh of relief, as that thing really was more annoying than he thought. He also spots the core, and notes that it is different from the ones he usually sees. Mari is gonna love this if he brings it back to her. However, the others wonder what that power was just now. Ellie thought he could only absorb color, so he should explain it properly, as she would use it as a reference for when they fight later. Gale also tells him he should have used that earlier if he always had it, but Kay asks why they're complaining, since they weren't the victims. That move uses a ton of color, so he doesn't use it unless he really has to. Suddenly though, the door Nero stopped by opens on its own, revealing a black void. Nero himself comes out of hiding and points at the door, clearly indicating that something is there. Kay can't see anything, so he wonders if it's really safe. Is it like a barrier they saw above? Suddenly though, just as he touches it, something begins dragging them inside, and they are powerless to stop it, so they are sucked into the black void. As they recover, they wonder what kind of situation this is. It's so dark they can't see anything clearly, except their bodies, which are now colorless. Everything else seems to have been drained of color, except Kay. In the main city, inside the Eastern Administration office, a large, round man slammed his fist on the table as he read through a stack of files. Has anyone found his location yet? Where did he go? He demanded of his secretary. The secretary hesitated before answering. He heard he is on an expedition with Red right now. The round man couldn't believe it. Black ink? How could he take something like that into the field? What the hell is Red thinking? Sure, he may be a goddamn hero, but this time he's gone too far. When that creature appeared inside the city, they tried to cover it up so the citizens wouldn't panic. The council is already in an uproar, yelling that the black tide has started to appear again. What exactly is he supposed to say to them? He'll just get shooed out, and nothing will be solved. Camellia just smiled and noted, someone's in a bad mood again today. He'll end up in the hospital again if he keeps this up. Camellia is the captain of the Dawn Pioneer Corps. She understands his worry, but he shouldn't get ahead of himself. It's Red who's with that boy, right? That alone is the most reliable safety device they have. It's not like there's anyone else fit for the job anyway. Who knows? If he deliberately took a high-risk person along this time, he might be aiming to do something unexpected again. What they need right now is not fear or doubt, but trust in the colorists. She takes a sip of her coffee, but since it's so bitter, she throws a handful of sugar cubes into it. The director knows what she means. As long as Red is there, the worst will not happen. But still, she knows why he is wary of black too. It's because of that black ink witch, right? The color black is dangerous. It symbolizes death and fear, especially the first black tide the witch caused. Humanity nearly went extinct back then. Creatures appeared, the world was covered in dark fog, and it all turned into the Black Land. The tide will come again eventually. This city has held back several waves already, big and small. The next threat is only a matter of time. The reason they are so desperate to exploit and reclaim land is simply to survive, right? He got a report about the surge and strange phenomena around the city lately, didn't he? Now someone with black has appeared too. They still don't know how those two things are connected, if they are connected in the first place. One thing is clear. For the future, they will need as much firepower as they can get their hands on. It's like Lord Luminous said, they need to use every asset available, even if that asset is black ink. He should please convince the council. The director sighed. That's easier said than done. Those bureaucrats would rather believe they're safe than actually be safe. He'll try his best, but who knows? Shining City might end up revolving around this kid from now on. Back in the ruins, the three wonder what happened. Gale remembers that all of their colors disappeared, so why does Kay have his? Kay doesn't know. Maybe it's because he has black ink. Suddenly, they both feel incredibly weak. Their entire body is drained of strength just from speaking. Kay wonders why. He feels fine, but is it because this is their first time without any color? Plus, ever since they came into this space, he's had a weird sensation. If he focuses his eyes, he feels like he can see something inside them. They start hearing a bunch of unintelligible speech. Gale immediately pulls out his weapon and demands that the speakers show themselves. Kay has heard these whispers before. It's similar, but something is off. It feels like something bad is about to happen. A figure of a woman appears next to them, and they stare at her. They think it's a creature, but when she points at Kay, his mind is dragged somewhere else. He sees a vortex of power destroying this very city. He sees a being made of pure black ink summoning thousands of city-destroying creatures. In the middle of it all, he sees the Witch of Black, who looks at him with slit empty eyes. Kay wonders what this is, a memory or reality. Who is he? Suddenly, he remembers something else. Someone giving him a name, Kay, and commanding him to go find his own light and color. Before he can hear anything else, he is dragged out of that vision, leaving him recoiling in shock. He wonders what the hell that was, but in the end, he definitely saw something. Was it Lumiel suffering similar things? Gale is swinging his blade around, asking what Kay did that was so wrong, and Ellie begs for something to stop. Both of their eyes are covered in dark ink, and it seems they are seeing their worst nightmares, each one taking on a very different shape. Kay can see they are not okay, and that creature from earlier is still there. This is not a place they can stay in for long. They need to get out fast. Suddenly Nero arrives, seeming completely at ease in this space, but he starts shaking and tries to point something out to Kay. Kay understands he just needs to follow the path he took. They will check it out, but first, he needs to deal with these two. He asks Nero if he thinks he can help with his ability, and the little creature tries. He unleashes his white aura in a circle, which takes them out of their perceived nightmares. Kay is pleased to see this, and tells them to stay put while he goes ahead to check things out first. He follows the path Nero left for him, but it feels like he has been walking forever, and he still cannot see anything. He hears that voice again, the whisper, and this time he can hear what it actually says. No color can ever stain him. Kay is getting sick of hearing cryptic crap on repeat. Suddenly he sees a light in the distance, and as he runs toward it, he finds what they were looking for, the Stella fragment. Judging by the look, this definitely should be it, but the glow and shape are different from what he saw before. Maybe each fragment has a unique form of its own. That does not matter right now. He should grab it and get out of here, as he cannot stay in this creepy place any longer. As he touches the Stella fragment, it begins to glow in all sorts of colors, and his absorption suddenly activates. Unbeknownst to him, he thinks it should be fine, since that absorption was only for an instant, and it seems to have stopped. Suddenly, as he grabs the Stella fragment tighter, the black space around them is completely gone. Instead of reacting like a normal human and being amazed, Kay just notes that this place is really full of unknowns. It never ceases to amaze him. He goes to them and asks if they are feeling better, and they are both shocked. Ellie wonders how he was completely fine in their darkness. Kay just shrugs, and notes that, more importantly, he found the Stella fragment they were looking for. Gale, this is what Red was talking about, huh? But it is so tiny. Ellie thinks it is amazing, but all those colors, what is this thing? As they continue talking, Nero suspiciously eyes the Stella fragment before he opens his mouth and swallows it whole, shocking everyone. Kay tells Nero that's not food, and Gale starts shaking the thing around, telling him to spit it out right now before he takes it out himself. Kay shakes him in turn, telling him to stop. They continue to bicker as the entire building begins to crack and the ceiling starts to fall. As Kay wonders why everything is collapsing, they start to run because they need to get out of there fast. The expedition team looks around and finally finds the spot where a large battle happened. Arancia now understands why they called it a dangerous entity. She wondered what it would be. But these marks mean one thing. It's that battle-crazy bastard that showed up again. It's the human-shaped creature, the sword demon. She was hoping it would be just a minor territorial dispute between creatures, but of course, it's one of the witch's black hands. Whenever this thing shows up, it picks a fight first, and it's pretty cunning too. It's such an annoying thing to deal with. There have been reports of creatures surging in several pioneer zones as of late. Could it be related to its appearance? She can't risk it. The investigation ends right here. Everyone will have to withdraw. Her assistant wonders if that's wise, since they are almost at the destination, but she denies it. They've achieved their minimum objective. They've secured enough ink and raw materials. She does not want to risk any more than this. Their mere goal was to get these probationary members used to the Black Land anyway. This should be more than enough. Suddenly, though, they hear a large strike from behind and see that it's red ink that did it. Suddenly, a bunch of extremely sharp strikes come out from that area, and Arancia tells everyone to get down. One group is too compromised to do anything, so she rushes in with her mighty hammer and smashes into the strike, stopping it dead in its tracks. She tells them that the expedition is officially over. Everyone will now return to base. She rendezvous with Chief Red. The rest will head back now. She jumps away, and sure enough, Red is fighting the sword demon. The battle rages on, with strike after strike exchanged between them. The sword demon pulls out a spear and tries to penetrate Red with it, but he blocks the attack and sends the spear flying. That leaves Red open, and the sword demon seizes the opportunity. Red blocks again, however, and unleashes a flurry of powerful red ink that forces the sword demon to retreat. Arancia arrives, noting that it was a nice lure attack. She wants to see if he can dodge this too. She unleashes a heavy blow against the sword demon, crushing him into the ground. Red notes that she came late, and it almost went badly. She tells him to stop playing around. She hits him squarely. She hit the sword demon directly, but it seems it was not enough to take down this thing. Just how powerful is it? Red says it's fine with her color. They can easily handle an annoying bastard like this. Still, they shouldn't go easy on him. Arancia thinks it's a good thing she arrived before he went all out, because no colorist, including her, wants to see him fight for real. He knows that already. Since she's here, they should break off another of the witch's black hands, right? The sword demon himself knows he's at a disadvantage. He is not enough. He will lose. Just as he thinks that, Kay's voice rings out, noting that they are almost there. Everyone's eyes widen as, from behind the sword demon, the voices of the others begin to file out, and sure enough, they appear. Kay sees someone strange standing in front of them, and someone else far in the back. The colorists charge in, hoping to arrive in time. Red screams at them to get back, but the sword demon is already moving. He jumps toward the group, and Gale and Ellie react immediately. But the sword demon unleashes one strike that breaks them apart. After that, he readies a wide, deadly strike. It lands on Kay, who stepped in front of the other two, and took the blow for them. Even though he reinforced his arm with black ink, it still went through, and he falls. Before the others can react, Gale gets punched in the gut, and Ellie gets captured. The sword demon tells the colorist to stop. He orders them to clear a path and not chase. He wants the key and demands they hand it over. If they do not listen, he will kill these weaklings. Kay lies on the ground, and a small creature beside him cries. They are at a stalemate now, and the demon is close to cutting Ellie's neck completely, but before they can react, something happens. Kay slowly gets up and creates a presence that even the sword demon cannot help but look at in fear. Kay has completely transformed into ink, and his cut hand slowly materializes in reality again. The sword demon doesn't get it. How did he stand back up? And why does a human even have black in the first place? Using his newly materialized hand, Kay begins to suck the sword demon toward him. Unleashing a force mightier than anything he has ever faced, he shocks the other two colorists. He grasps the sword demon's throat, pulling him into the air, and Arancia uses the opportunity to tell the other two to get out of here quickly. Red is confused. Did Kay get swallowed by the black? Maybe he even turned into one of those black hands. The sword demon can feel it. This bastard is stealing his entire existence. This isn't his imagination. It's definitely the same as that witch. He can feel his eyes piercing into him. So it was him. He was the key all this time. Suddenly, a bunch of erratic-looking mouths come out of Kay's hand and begin to slowly make their way to the demon's face, aiming to swallow him whole. Before that can happen, though, the sword demon pulls out his last blade and cuts the mouths up. He knows he cannot take the key like this. He will be too volatile. So first he cuts off his arms and legs. Those can always be replaced. He unleashes a flurry of incredibly deadly strikes, but his sword does not even go through Kay at all. He grasps his sword and summons his dark ink across the ground. The sword demon jumps away before he can be swallowed whole, but even he is surprised by what is happening. To think it would be like this. Sensing an opportunity, Arancia rushes in and smashes her hammer into his blade so hard it shatters. forcing him to backpedal. He realizes this is far too dangerous, so he retreats now, since he has found the key, and this is good enough information already. With that, he begins running off, making Arancia annoyed. How dare he run off after rampaging around like a maniac? Now that it is not in his favor, he begins to run. She tells Red they have to stop him before he reaches the depths. Red is already on him, and asks where he thinks he is going. Unleashing a ton of his power, he seeps it into his blade, and Chroma, extinguishing Flame Strike, cutting off the sword demon's hand, and the ground before it. This makes him lose a hand permanently, because this is Chroma. The sword demon cannot regenerate. Red relentlessly pursues the sword demon and tries a frontal attack. The sword demon dodges his strikes, all of which are meant to be life-ending. He vows that next time things won't end like this. The key will be his, and he will gain her favor. With that, he jumps into the shadows, much deeper than they are. Arancia thinks they should keep chasing him, but Red denies it. Going any deeper would be far too dangerous. She smashes the ground with her foot in annoyance, frustrated that they almost had him and lost him again. Red thinks it can't be helped. They didn't come prepared to enter the depths, even with light at their backs. This is as far as they can go now. It's frustrating that the Black Land itself practically acts as a shield for them. The other two come back, with Ellie apologizing for only getting in the way, but Red says it's fine. He's just glad they are all alive. Arancia notes that meeting that thing and having no casualties is called luck. Red just coughs and says, more importantly, what are they supposed to do with him now? Is he even there at this point? He knew Kay's power was risky, but not like this. What is that thing behind him? Is he surrounded by it? Is he actually absorbing the Black Land itself? Suddenly, the black around him begins to dissipate, but he doesn't go back into ink state. He turns into his colorless figure and falls to the ground, glowing a little. Everyone just stares at him, wondering what the hell he is even supposed to be. He just keeps throwing surprises at them. The sword demon disappears into the darkness, and the chroma on his hand continues to drain him until he finally gets rid of it all and can regenerate. Suddenly, someone else speaks up, noting that he got here before her, but he looks like hell. Did someone beat him up again? She says. He should really stop poking his nose in where it doesn't belong when he is not prepared at all. The sword demon recognizes the voice. It's Viper, along with someone else, who is pretty shy. She circles him, saying she was bored, and this is perfect. What happened? She asks. No way someone like him just got smacked around. Who did he fight? She sees the burn marks from the searing flames, pure red with no color mixed in. He fought Red, didn't he? And he actually survived to tell the tale. The sword demon tells her to get lost, but she refuses. She agrees that Red is too strong for a human. A guy who burns himself up just to keep fighting will probably self-destruct someday anyway, right? Why isn't he answering her question from before? He noticed it too, right? That the Black Witch's veil has opened. She knows he saw it, but did he figure out why it opened? The sword demon ignores her and wonders why he would ever tell her such a thing. Once the identity of the key gets out, they lose, so he is going to claim it for himself. Viper gets bored and goes back to her sister, noting that she realizes, by hiding it that hard, he is making it obvious something's up, right? He is really an idiot, but whatever. They were going to figure it out themselves anyway. Viper knows that, judging from how he reacted, there's something up with that veil opening, isn't it? It probably has to do with the city people. She has just the thing to turn the tide. A little puppy they have been cooking up for a while now. It's going to be really exciting. Naturally, they make their way back to the city, and including Mary, they all look at Kai. Red himself speaks out, noting that he has no excuse at all. He said with confidence that nothing would happen, but he could not keep that promise. He is sorry. What happened is his responsibility. It seems that nothing has changed about him even now. Ellie tells him that, considering the survival rate of rookie pioneers, they are lucky they ended like this. If anything, everyone made it out alive thanks to both of them, chiefs. She also promises that next time she won't hold back and will get stronger. Mary herself wonders just what the hell is going on. She can't believe she is seeing the city's most famous colorist in a place like this. They said they were Kai's teammates and showed up out of nowhere. Kai came back in this state, so she naturally had a bad feeling, but they seem like good people, so it's a relief. But that aside, why isn't he waking up already? She can't handle all of this alone. The nurse said there is nothing wrong, so he could wake up soon or should. Red comes up to her and notes that, as she heard earlier, there is no need to worry about Kai's condition, and he also wanted to ask something. They are looking for a small creature called Nero. Does she know where it is? Suddenly, though, Gale notices it and points it out as it is coming out of Kai's shadow, looking a little confused about the sudden attention. Gale, however, tells Red that this is the thing that swallowed the Stella fragment and made him explain something that was extremely hard to explain. He immediately tries to grab Nero, but the fast feline dodges and uses his head as a booster pad into Mary's arms. He is okay. She knew he would be in Kai's shadow. Red looks at the creature and notes that something feels familiar about it. Perhaps he is imagining things. Suddenly, though, Nero opens his mouth and shoots out the Stella fragment, with Ellie being relieved, going to get it out. Red grabs the fragment and knows that they have finally found another piece. So many sacrifices just for such a tiny thing. Kai begins to come back to consciousness and remembers what happened about the attack that he suffered, and he suddenly jolts awake right as Red picks up the fragment. He wonders where he is, and where that thing that attacked him even went. Wait, more importantly, he is colorless right now, isn't he? What excuse can he give? If he gets kicked out like before, there is nowhere to go. Red tells him to lift his head and not look so miserable, like he just committed a crime. He personally doesn't care what he looks like. What matters more is that all of them performed brilliantly on their first expedition. He didn't expect them to pull off this much. He will be working them hard from now on, so they should brace themselves. He welcomes them all to Red's team. Kai is shocked, but then smiles and bows his head, confirming that he will be under his care. Red is glad that they've covered everything they needed to, so now they can go ahead and dismiss themselves. He is going to meet Lord Luminous. With that, he leaves. Ellie is the first to speak. He probably has a lot to explain, but she won't ask much. Does he remember anything? Like what happened after he lost consciousness? Kai knows Red told him to keep quiet about it for now, and notes that he doesn't really remember much from back then. Ellie understands. She will let it go for now. He is obviously hiding something, but it doesn't matter. More importantly, is there any way to get back his color? Mary tells her not to worry about that. She's got something prepared just for situations like this. She rummages through her pack and eventually finds it. Black ink. She snagged it from a disposal site. Ellie wonders what that is. That's not even ink. It's legit. Just a waste. Why would he get something so dangerous? Kai pops the cork of the vial and notes that she's the best, as he really needed it. With that, he just chucks it without issue, and then recovers his color fully. Mary knows, however, that this is not enough, and notes that she has more at her workshop. They should handle it there. Gale, however, seems awfully silent before speaking, asking if he's done with this pointless chatter. He's heading out now, and his arm is back to normal. Body generation is an advanced ability only high-level healing colors can have. How is something like that possible for him? Most importantly, he wants him to answer his question. Why did he step in front back then, when he took the attack? Kai put a hand on his nape, and noted that he felt they were in danger, and he thought his power could block it. Well, he failed, and almost caused a disaster, but that's beside the point. Gale becomes annoyed and grabs him by the color of his shirt, telling him not to mess with him. No one asked for his help. He still can't really stand him. Mary immediately points him out, asking what he is doing, suddenly berating Kai like that. Gale just stands silently before throwing Kai away and walking off. Mary doesn't like that he went without apology, but Ellie tells him that this is just the way this guy is. Anyway, she will be going now too, and will postpone their match for a while. After leaving, Kai notes that they should head back too, but he has something to show her first. He took down a robot thing during the expedition. He picked it up because he thought she'd like it. He rummages through his bag, and eventually finds the core of the robot. Red goes through the Luminous halls, and eventually arrives at a throne room. Luminous welcomes him inside, noting that she's been waiting patiently. Red replies, noting that her wait wasn't without purpose. He can finally bring up some good news. After a while, just as she predicted, they've succeeded in opening the Black Witch's veil. Back at her workshop, Mary immediately picks apart the core, and notes that she has seen it in books. But this is definitely ancient civilization tech. It's a device that uses ink as fuel. They are used to that part, but the efficiency of it is insane. Just faded ink was enough to keep a ruined golem running all of this time. Their technology was truly amazing. Kai notes that it looks like just any other core. Is it really that special? Mary confirms as such. Even famous pioneer cores rarely find stuff like this in the ruins. Maybe once a year if that. She wishes she could have experienced that era herself, a world full of long-lost ancient history and technology. Kai thinks that it's valuable then. If it's an ancient relic, they could probably sell it for a lot, right? Mary begins to fuss, as this is why tech-ignorant people are annoying. He thinks a technician like her would throw away a chance like this for money. Of course, she's going to take it apart and study it. Anyway, he can look forward to it. Ideas are popping into her head like crazy, right? She will make perfect equipment just for him. Kai is pleased, however. Judging by how happy she is, bringing this back was the right call. He grabs Nero and notes that he will be coming by again later, but she stops him as she just remembers someone came looking for him. It was when she went deeper into the Shadow District to find ink to help him recover. Some people she'd never seen around started talking to her. At first, She thought they were just some thugs from another area, but they knew who they were and came looking for them specifically, and noted that they would like to meet that black wielder everyone has been talking about. When they said that, she figured nothing good would come from getting involved, so she just ran away. Kai thinks that's pretty dangerous. He told her not to go deep into the district zone, and she knew, but this was pretty urgent anyway. She tells him that if he sees any weird people again, he should not get involved. Kai thinks that this is unsettling still. This entire area is pretty safe, so there shouldn't be any big problems if their goal is him. They'll come find him directly if they really need something. As he walks through the streets, Kai thinks that he's tired now. Now that he thinks about it, it's been a while since he actually went home. He should hurry up and get some rest. Still, there are many more drifters lately. The kind of people who normally stay underground are coming up here. Did something happen? Perhaps a gang war broke out. Suddenly, Nero grabs his attention and points him out into an alley, but Kai doesn't know about that, as he knows going deeper into the Shadow District is dangerous. However, Nero begins to fuss, and Kai reluctantly begins walking into the alley. Nero's instincts have always been accurate after all, so there is definitely something there. Maybe he should try out what he has been practicing, like when he first coated his fists in black. He will focus his power in his eyes. His vision has shifted by itself a few times now. He could see things others couldn't. If he can mimic that, it might be useful for spotting things in the dark. This technique is called inverted sight. After using it, he sees something, a very colorful-looking woman. Before he can ask her anything, though, she just walks away. He immediately tries to follow her, wondering if that is the person who said she wanted to meet him. If it is, he cannot lose her here for Mary's safety too. He needs to catch her. Suddenly, though, as he turns the corner, Kai is immediately in what seems to be a completely different dimension. The entrance closes behind him, and Lord Luminous finds him very interesting. She wasn't planning on revealing herself so soon, but he can be proud of himself. Not just anyone can track her down like this. Kai immediately jumps, clearly surprised, and asks who she is. She knows that it's nice to finally meet a child of black. She is Celestia. Kai is amazed. Her entire body is glowing with every color. The only person he knows who shines like that is that person. Is this person the current Luminous? The very top of the shining city came to see him? But why? How long have they been watching him for in the first place? Suddenly, though, his mind begins to be overwhelmed with that voice as it wants that light, and commands him to devour it and leave nothing behind, leaving no room for argument as it completely seeps into his mind. Celestia doesn't seem that surprised or shocked that he's suddenly been swallowed by the black. It's strange that she didn't even do anything. Red told her about this, but seeing it herself is even more fascinating. He is deeply consumed by darkness, yet he still lives, and he is not becoming one of the Black Hands either. Perhaps there is some unknown connection between him and the Black Witch Nyx. Some among the leadership wanted him eliminated, but she doesn't. If he can hold out without being permanently devoured, then there is enough potential and value in his ability. To protect this city, they cannot afford to be picky about their methods. If they can use the power of the black ink, they should. Great success only comes when they take risks, so why don't they have a little talk? She summons her staff and pushes it into the ground, completely eliminating the black inside of Kai's mind. He grasps half of his face, noting that it was the clearest the voice has ever been. Celestia becomes curious about what kind of voice it was. Was it the voice of the Black Witch? Kai explains that he doesn't know. It's just some whispering. Celestia tells him not to be so tense. She just heard about a message from Red and wanted to meet him. Before that, she wanted to thank him on the city's behalf. Kai doesn't remember doing anything for the city, but then Celestia pulls out the Stella fragment. Not many know what this fragment truly means to the city. Bringing back this precious light is more than enough reason to be thanked. Kai believes that was his teammates doing too, and Celestia agrees. He's saying it was the result of the entire team effort, right? She knows that too, but what really matters is that he was the one who opened the Black Witch's veil. Does he truly realize how incredible that is? Not even any of the Luminous, including herself, have been able to open it. The only ones who can open it are the Black Witch, or maybe the Black Hands too. Stellar fragments are scattered all over the Black Land, but most are sealed inside the Black Witch's veil. They've been constantly clashing with the Black Hands to claim them. Until now, all they've gotten are a few lucky pieces that happen to be exposed outside. Kai thinks he gets it, but why is she explaining all of this to him? He doesn't even know what those fragments are used for. Why are Red and even she paying so much attention to them? Celestia forgot. She should have explained that part first. Well, rather than explaining, it would be clearer if she showed him. He shouldn't go talking about this to anyone. Only a handful of people in the city know about it. Suddenly, the entire place changes into what looks like a city. Celestia tells him not to panic as she just brought them here, where she resides. He is the first person she has shown this to, so it may be a good sign. He should watch closely as the radiance that blooms out of the darkness will be amazing. Using the Stella fragment, she unleashes a whirlwind of color, almost like an orbital strike, and Kai watches wide-eyed as the black land is being pushed back. Naturally, news about this breaks out. A new dawn has arrived in the city, as Luminous has pushed back the black land and reclaimed their territory once again. People read the news eagerly, understanding now the pillar of light that came yesterday. It is truly a game changer now, which means they will be even safer from the creatures. Anyway, what truly matters right now is that tons of new opportunities are going to come out. With this new land, they will be able to get more rare resources and ink. Kai reads the paper and hears two friends talking, one noting that he heard some families starting a new pioneer course. He has to invest early if he wants a big share. Kai himself is a little surprised that the city is in such chaos after just one day. Well, thinking about what happened yesterday, it's only natural. After she was done with illuminating the area, Celestia came back to the ground and asked if he had seen, right? Stella's fragments can do a lot more than he thinks. What he brought back was truly extraordinary, so he should be careful, as the Black Hands are also after the fragments. Once they learn of his power, they'll come after him relentlessly to capture him. He needn't worry too much, though. The city has been blocking their influence for a long time. If it comes down to it, they will protect him. It is a shame. She'd love to give him more, however. The city is burning through people and resources just to survive, and she's using everything she has just to keep the Black Land from advancing, so she cannot be away for long. He is special. He should keep that in mind from now on. A lot of people will either fear him or try to use him. He'll try to stop as many bad situations as he can, but he should keep working as a pioneer, however he likes, just like he has done so far. Now he will be heading back, however. She enjoyed her talk, and he shouldn't worry, as Red's team will be properly rewarded. He thinks that now is the time to act, since he took a day off anyway. But what should he do now? Now that he remembers, though, Mary seemed troubled, since she used up almost all of her ink. So since he finally has some free time, maybe he should go mining again like before. He goes to the gathering hall, thinking that there would never come a day when he would walk into this place. The gathering hall is where all kinds of pioneers come together. Back when he was colorless, he couldn't even get near it, but now he can walk proudly inside as a pioneer. Immediately, as he enters, heads turn as they recognize him as the first Black Wielder. Some note that he's creepier up close. Some find him fascinating but also pretty ugly. Naturally, rumors, prejudice, and all sorts of trash talk are prominent around the entire hall, with him becoming the center of attention. Even high above, higher-ranked colorists are enjoying looking at him, as they've never seen something like it. Another purple-haired one tells him that he should stop acting like a child and come sit down, but the red colorist wonders if she really isn't curious about what Red picked. Come to think of it, though, wasn't Arantia there on site? How was he? Arantia herself notes that he was definitely a memorable, influential presence, but at the same time, there was an unknown risk about him, someone they will have to closely watch from now on. Hearing this, the red colorist becomes even more curious, as he is the only one with black ink. The receptionist welcomes him and asks if it's his first time inside the hall, and Kai confirms as such that he would like to find work if he can. The receptionist notes that, since he hasn't received his official badge yet, he should fill out this form, as new pioneers can take low-risk missions like ink mining or small creature extermination. A bunch of low-level colorists look at him as he does so, muttering that he is disgusting and not even human. One of them knows that he is just an ominous and gross creature. He doesn't know why all these idiots are making a fuss about it, like he is amazing. They all seek validation from their boss, who agrees. This black-inked bastard really hurts his eyes. He didn't like him from the moment he set eyes on him in the expedition. He is some half-breed who just lucked out because a colorist noticed him. He doesn't even get it. Why are they dragging that thing around like it's normal? He is a total rookie with zero experience. This is why B-rank veterans like him should be joining instead. Well, since he is leaving now, and their duty is to protect the city from pollution, they should go and purify him properly. Kai goes outside the city and, using his newfound ability, finds a ton of colored ores, having never found so many before. He heard mining yields have been dropping lately, so this should be a big help, since these ores can be used as fuel or weapons like ink. They'll sell for a good price, and Mary is certainly going to be thrilled about it. Thanks to these eyes, gathering resources has never been easier. No matter how dark or hidden something is, he can clearly see it. It burns through a lot of color, so he can't use it for long, but it's better than just putting it on Nero's shoulders again and again. He finished pretty fast, faster than expected. If he goes back with this much now, he will only attract attention, so he should just kill some time first. It might be a good chance to practice the ability that he's been putting off. His first main skill is ink drain. He has to touch something directly to use it, and sometimes it runs wild against his will. For the future, he needs to be able to control it properly. He shatters a color stone in two, and immediately siphons the stone of all its color. It was a pretty expensive one at that. This is pretty ridiculous, but he thinks he got a pretty good feel for it just now. Thinking back on it, the more vivid and flashy the color, the more his ink seemed to go out of control, and it was especially bad when that strange whispering started. Well, it's good that he knows the cause now. From here on out, he will need to stay sharp so this power doesn't control him. The colors he absorbs, do they just mix together and become black? Each color should have its own properties. Maybe there is a way to use them differently. If one thinks about it, black is all of the colors combined, right? Maybe like luminous too, he can use every color. He tries to focus, recalling red's fiery power that was something like this. The searing heat, like his whole body was aflame. He creates a small red stone, but it shatters almost immediately. As expected, it won't be as easy as he thought. He keeps practicing until sunset, and after the sun does set, he walks back with his bag of stones, wondering if he overdid it. However, as he gets closer to the city, he gets ambushed by the band of low-level colorists. The leader, noting that he keeps bumping into all of the city's celebrities out here, says, "It's really nice to finally meet the little runt of the litter." One of them knows that he should have moved faster, as they thought he wandered off somewhere else. He has a big attitude for a newbie with no manners. Kai just kinda looks at them and wonders who they are, but one of them raises his palm, asking who he thinks he is. What is he gonna do with that info, huh? Can he tell just by looking? He should put everything he is holding on the ground now. The other tells him to wait a second. They should look at the shine inside his bags. Those are color ores, right? There's a ton of them. The blue colorist tells his boss that this punk brought some pretty good stuff, and the boss finds it pretty convenient. He has himself some nice loot, huh? He's pretty lucky for a rookie, but trying to hog all of that by himself. If they squeeze him a bit, they will find out exactly where he mined that out. He tells his boys to make sure he doesn't even think about resisting, and to teach him properly. As they pull out their weapons, Kai simply puts the bags right in front of them on the ground. The blue-haired colorist thinks that he is just being obedient, and more aware than he looks. Kai just socks him right in the face, knocking him out. He sighs. Even though they're pioneers, these guys are always like this. They should not waste time and come to him already, as he has someone waiting for him. The other red-haired colorist rushes in with his blade, but Kai goes under it and cocks a punch that sends him flying right into the colorist's face, making him shatter the wall behind him. The other yellow one rushes in with his fists, but just before he is able to punch Kai's face, he catches his fist, turns it around and trips him, putting him on the ground helplessly before punching him in the face, knocking him out. He dusts himself and catches his breath. If they get greedy for someone else's stuff, they should pay the price. Now he just needs to deal with one last guy. Suddenly, however, as he looks at the red leader, he sees a bullet flying towards his head. He has barely seconds to dodge before it creates a large hole in the place where his head was. He thinks that there is only one thing that can make such a hole: a long-range spoit. The red-haired leader is shocked that he managed to actually dodge that. It's a shame that could have sent him to the grave in one hit. He just pissed him off from the moment he saw him. He used to want to get into an S-rank corps too. It's not a place just anyone can enter. But he, some black-colored freak, waltzed in easily with a colorist begging him to. He just doesn't get it at all. What is so special about having such a disgusting ink color? Are all of the colorists obsessed with him? He's changed his mind now. At first, he just wanted to break a few bones, but now that his guys are in this state, he will just kill him right now. Nobody will care what happens outside of the city anyway. He begins unleashing a barrage of bullets that Kai dodges again and again before getting to the red leader's position and trying to punch him. However, he dodges the punch, and they begin exchanging blows. The leader gets increasingly annoyed and tells him to stop clinging to him like a fly before unleashing a very close-range, wide-area attack that is much different from the bullets. The leader explains that his color is crystallization. He creates ruby and hematite. Even if it's a common ability with this custom-made spoit, he can mass-produce all kinds of powerful rounds. As long as he doesn't get bleached from using too much color, his bullets are infinite. Compared to scum like him, he is on an entirely different level. Kai shields himself from the bullets using some cover and dams it all, having a really annoying point. Judging by his close combat, he is probably at least a B-rank pioneer. He has a trash personality but decent skills. He wants to try absorbing the bullets, but even when he covered himself in black, it couldn't block everything. If he messes up, he could take a fatal hit just like last time. The big yellow colorist he had put down earlier suddenly rushes in with a grab. Kai dodges, but the yellow-haired colorist still manages to grab his leg and tells his boss that he should shoot now. as he will hold him. The boss tells him he did a good job, and immediately shoots Kai with a bullet going straight through his head. However, Kai does not fall. He seems to be completely fine, as it appears he can absorb that. If he had failed, he would have been in real trouble. The leader doesn't get it, as he clearly shot him through the head. Kai just tells him it's over, and the leader refuses, trying to shoot him again and again. But each time Kai just absorbs the blast. He tells him to keep shooting. Where is that amazing power of his? The thing that made him boastful. If he is out of bullets, then it's his turn now, isn't it? The leader can't believe this. There's no way he's fine after taking that penetrating blow like that. It doesn't make any sense. He's just bluffing because he looks tough. He thinks he's stupid to fall for a cheap trick like that. Even if he blocked it, his insides must be a wreck. Nothing's changed as long as he still has this weapon. This battle will be his win. Kai thinks that his bullets are no threat anymore. But this is an ability that burns an insane amount of color compared to what it absorbs. It's effective, but the risk is huge if he keeps using it recklessly. He will dry fast. He needs to deal with that annoying spoit somehow. He will need something more if he wishes to get close. Maybe he should try it too. Would he mind if he borrows it a bit? That ability of his that he keeps gloating about. He summons a circle of power in his hand, which immediately transforms into a spear, shocking the leader. But Kai is just glad that it works. He's only ever used his fists until now with this. He can cover a weakness he always had, an ability that crystallizes one's own color. While he was absorbing his color, he got a feel for it. Anyway, he should thank him for showing him something useful. He throws a spear, which the leader barely dodges, and tries to shoot him again. But Kai just tanks the shots and tells him that it's useless since they are already fighting. He will now be his sparring partner. He rushes in with a spear and creates that same short-range AoE attack that the leader did, who is shocked that he's using his moves so precisely. Kai decides to then use a different shape and summons a blade out of his black ink that completely slashes through the leader's pistol, leaving it useless on the ground. The leader himself can't believe it. The spoit shattered from a single swing of a blade. How? He wasn't even using a spoit. Does his black ink have powers he doesn't even know about? Something like this isn't normal. He is an insane freak. Kai, however, eases off his power, noting that he's spent. His ability is really costly yet effective, as he barely used it, but it's fine if he gets that much destructive power out of it. He asks the leader, what now? He's got no weapons left, and if he wants, he can come at him bare-handed. Not that it will help much. The leader gets annoyed and tells him not to get cocky. He thinks he got a B rank for nothing. He really thought that all he could do was shoot. He told him that his color creates ruby and hematite. He does not need a spoit. No matter how much he has to push himself, he will just kill him with his bare hands. He unleashes his colored shards right into Kai, who begins blocking them, and then creates a shield out of ink, which he uses to push through the onslaught, until he gets right to the leader, and then punches him in the side, making him recoil in pain before grabbing his color and putting him to the ground roughly, making the leader spit blood. Kai guesses he is done throwing a fit now. He is already busy, and he is just making him waste energy. The leader doesn't get it. How can a guy who just became a pioneer have this kind of power? Something is wrong. This does not make sense. Kai just tells him to shut it, but then the leader calls him a beast. He creeps him out. Being born with that power in the first place, it is not normal. Anyone can see it's not. He probably felt it himself too. How can he walk around like nothing's wrong when he is carrying that ink? He was never human to begin with. He is just a monster wearing human skin. He was never a person. This naturally makes Kai extremely mad, to the point that his eyes hollow out completely, and the leader can only see a deep abyss within them, making him recoil in fear. However, Kai laughs, asking what he's talking about. Wasn't he so full of himself when he came charging in? Now he wants a shouting match? Anyway, he gets how he feels. From what he's saying, he is really interested in his power, so he will show it properly. He went after his stuff after all, so he should get something in return, right? With that, he begins to siphon his color, swallowing it whole. After draining all of them of color, Kai sits on them but wonders what he should do. At first, he thought he was just going to leave them and walk away, but if he abandons them like this, it will turn into a huge problem later. Right now, people are only curious about him because it's the first time they've seen this color, but most people fear or even hate it. If he steals someone's color, throws them away, and they end up dying, everyone would definitely see him as a monster that only steals color. He cannot let that happen, so he can't leave them like this. He worked hard to get this far. Eventually, he finds their own personal ink and begins pouring it on them and in them, making them regain some of their color. At the east gate of Shining City, a guard notices the hooligans who are in a bleached state. He wonders why they are so, and if they burned through all of their color in the Black Land, and tells someone to call the hall. At the same time, Kai goes inside the city, thankful that they didn't notice. Judging by how their color came back, giving them the personal ink must have been the right call. This should be enough to smooth things over. If it somehow turns into a big issue, Red will probably help him out. He goes back to Mary's workshop, where she is glad to see him as he has been out for days. Kai apologizes, saying he took a request from the hall. She also sees him smiling and asks if something good happened. Kai knows that he did. She will be shocked when she sees it. He opens the bag to reveal a bunch of colored ores. These are what he had left after finishing the job. He thought of her, so he brought the stones to her. Mary immediately jumps high in the air, grabbing him, noting that he is the best, and thanks him a lot as she will make really good use of them. Suddenly, however, Kai sees a lingering light shining through her just like that time. He only saw it for a moment, but he saw a light around Gale too. This feeling that he's getting from Mary, it's warm. So this is the color shining inside of her. It fits. Mary is always brightening people around her, even though she grew up seeing the dark side of the city with him. She smiles when there's nothing to smile about, and even when someone is stuck in the darkness of an alley, she always finds a way to comfort them. The color does suit her. Mary notes that she can't just keep talking/taking all the time either, so he should come inside as she was going to surprise him once it was finished, but she will just show him now. Also, he shouldn't freak out as she's actually been making a custom spoit for him. Kai is really surprised, and Mary seems pretty proud of it. She's made a lot of progress too, behind the scenes, and with this, she can upgrade the specs all she wants. Suddenly someone comes into the shop, noting that she heard he had come back from the Blackland. She figured he would be here. It's Ellie and Gale, with Kai asking, what brings them here? Are they going to challenge him to a fight again? Ellie tells him that's not it. Even though Gale was training like crazy just to try and beat him, the Corps actually summoned them. Lord Luminous personally acknowledged their contribution this time, and wants them to head to the headquarters to receive their rewards. Upon hearing this, Mary pushes Kai out as he really needs to go. He can see the spoit she made later. He should just go and come back safe. By the time he returns, she should have it finished. With that, Kai makes his way to the Dawn Pioneer Corps headquarters with Lavian escorting them inside. Kai is amazed, naturally, as he never thought he would get to come inside. The interior is truly amazing. The walls are covered with records of past Corps achievements. Well, he can look around a bit later. Now he should focus on the important part. They enter the leader's office, and Camellia welcomes them warmly and introduces herself. Kai is surprised to see her, as Dawn's leader is known as one of the few multicolor holders in the entire city. He never thought he would meet someone he had only read about in the papers. Camellia tells them that there's no need to be nervous, as they've probably heard they're here for a good reason. She was shocked when Red actually praised some rookies who made even the city's leadership nervous just by appearing, especially Kai, the first black ink wielder since, well, excuse her. She invited them personally. As she sips her coffee, she immediately scowls as she told Lavian to put some sweet stuff in this beforehand. Lavian just sighs and tells her to keep some dignity. Camellia clears her throat and notes that now that they're done with introductions, they should get to the point. She'll be handing out 3 rewards for their last mission. First, they will take 1 each. These are personal safes for pioneers issued from above. Their pay and mission rewards are recorded there, so they should check it whenever they like. Their Corps guarantees the credit, so they can withdraw money from any bank in the city. Gale and Kai are surprised, with Kai noting that he could probably buy a house with this. Camellia also hands them their C-rank Pioneer IDs, issued to them as unusually early rookies. They've proven both their skills and results, so they are skipping the probation. With that, they will get access not only to the hall, but to various city benefits as well. Lastly, the color workshop will craft spoits of their choice just for them. Gale is shocked, and Ellie notes that even most nobles cannot get an appointment with them. Camellia laughs. Dawn Corps is one of the VIP clients, and their spoits are broken, right? The color workshop handles all the gear for colorists. It's that important. They are going to be getting spoits from the best workshop in the city after all. They know where that is, so once they go to the Lumina district, they should see it right away. It is getting late, but they should allow her to officially welcome them as members of the Corps. They will support them without holding back from here on out. They always need strong fighters to stand against the Black Land, and, as they might have guessed, that fragment they brought back yesterday is extremely important to the city's survival. So she will be expecting great things from them in the future, as brand new rookies. After walking back to the entrance of Mary's workshop, Kai talks with Nero, noting that it feels like today is just one of those good days. He never imagined he would get promoted to C rank this fast. He guesses becoming a pioneer really was the right choice. He bets Mary is going to be happy when she hears what happened today. However, as he closes in, He sees that the door is open, and as he looks inside, he sees that the entire place is trashed, making his heart sink, and his eyes narrow dangerously. At the eastern forward base of Shining City, the colorists are fighting adamantly as multiple creatures are breaching from the Black Land, so all the squads are moving in and focusing their attacks on the bigger ones first. However, they wonder how long this abnormal phenomenon is going to last. It has been going on for a while. Some just say that they need to keep it together as long as they keep coming. Viper herself watches from above, enjoying seeing them struggle. Honestly, if they couldn't even hold this much, she would be disappointed, but this is still way too weak. The waves the Black Witch supposedly caused were definitely not this pathetic. Sending small fry like this over and over is just a waste of time. If they are going to bring that disgusting city down, they need something more decisive. Well, she will have to go back inside one more time then. The sword demon, who has been leaning nonchalantly nearby, asks what nonsense she's speaking. Going into the city, does she plan to meet her death? Viper tells him that he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't remember anything. He is extremely dumb. Well, it's not like it hurts to let him know. Underneath Shining City, there are paths that connect straight to the Black Land. They are narrow, but they are still there. And down there they found something pretty useful, the Undercity. Kai immediately looks around for Mary, trying to find her, and even goes to the back room, but she's not in her workshop either. It's pretty clear that she's been kidnapped, but who could have done such a thing? If something like that time happens ever again, he doesn't know what he will do, before despair could consume him. Nero meows at him and comes out of his shadow, before jumping on the table in the workshop, and there Kai sees the custom spoit Mary made for him. If Nero is pointing at that though, it should be special. He uses inverted sight, and just as he expected, it's the same color he saw shining from her, leading somewhere else. He should follow this trail more than anything. He's worried about whether Mary is safe right now. He needs to calm down, as times like these are exactly when he needs to set his emotions aside. The kidnappers are definitely those guys, the unknown group that was after him. They're using her as a hostage to lure him out. It's the trash of this city. They're the ones who picked a fight with him first. He speaks to himself, telling Mary to wait just a little longer, but despite his encouraging words, his eyes are filled with complete and utter malice. He grabs the gauntlet and puts it on, fitting perfectly, and allowing him to be much more efficient with his ink. Even if fights drag on from now on, he will be fine with that. He lets Nero grab onto his shoulder, and he gets going. He goes through the dark alleys, through the beggars and wannabe gangsters, and eventually finds where the trail leads, an entrance leading to the underground. There's another one this close by too, so that's why the number of vagrants suddenly increased back then. Suddenly someone else comes, noting that it's a good thing they waited. It's the bastard from before who notes that he hopes he didn't forget his face when he threw him in that ink pile. They are not exactly on friendly terms, but they still have unfinished business. Kai immediately asks where Mary is, but the green-haired man tells him that he would never tell him. He thinks he would answer just because he asked nicely. He doesn't exactly remember what trick he pulled last time, but he does remember turning him into a wreck. Does he have an idea what he went through after that? He had to bust his ass at the very bottom of the organization just to get a bit of his color back. He survived by cleaning, by clinging to the thought of getting revenge on him someday. Anyway, Lord Blanc only told them to bring him in, but no one said he had to be in one piece. So this is actually pretty perfect. Kai just crafts a very sharp, serrated blade. He does not mean to waste time here. Trash who are rotten to the core like them do not deserve mercy. He begins cutting through them as they approach, eliminating them left and right. The green-haired man uses Juan Spoit to try to attack him, but Kai simply breaks the attack and then pins the green-haired man to the ground. Compared to the last time, the situation is a lot different, isn't it? Honestly, he doesn't really like hurting people, but scum who kidnap innocent people are a different story. There is no need to hold back with them. It seems that some of them might spend the rest of their lives crippled or may never walk again, but they naturally brought this upon themselves. They should be grateful he let them live in the first place. They also call themselves pioneers, didn't they? Doing garbage like this, and calling themselves that name. They are really disgusting. People like him do not deserve the blessing of the light. With that, he siphons out his color, and drags him along as he needs someone to guide him down below. With that, he jumps down, right into the place where he never thought he would be ever again, the Undercity. As they walk to the Undercity, Kai pushes the now colorless man, telling him to move, and not even think about doing anything stupid. The man asks if he thought he could mess with Zed, and walk away. He can't do anything on his own, can he? He just signed his own death warrant. Kai grabs him by the throat and notes that he seems to like running his mouth, yet still doesn't understand his position. He will shut up and walk in front quietly before he actually kills him and dumps him in this place. If anything happens to Mary, even a single scratch, He is going to face the worst day of his life. They continue walking, and Kai notices that nothing has changed, not even a little. The Undercity is like the shadow cast beneath a lamp. It is a place where Luminous's light will never reach. It became a nest for gangs naturally. There is no law here. The Colorless survive by relying on the underground mines, because it's the only way out for people with nowhere left to go. This is the place where he first met Mary. The man can't believe this brat, but it doesn't matter. He should go ahead and do what he wants. His job is to bring him to the base anyway. He walks straight into the trap himself. This place will certainly become his grave. Sure enough, as he continues leading him, he stops, and a bunch of people appear, with one of them noting that they've been waiting so long, they might have grown roots. They all look at him, surprised to see that he has black ink. He's like a lump of ore. The boss comes forward, glad he finally made it, and the man immediately gets on his knees, noting that he brought him just as ordered. The boss sees that he lost his color again, however. He told him, didn't he, that a person without color is a useless being. The man apologizes, noting that it was out of control, but the boss notes that the opportunity slipped away. That means his value will end right here. He cuts his head off, as he doesn't want to waste his time with trash, and Kai doesn't seem fazed at all. Perhaps this is not even the first time he has seen something like this. He also notes that he hasn't changed. He is the same as ever. Now that he has come here, however, he should tell him, where is Mary? The man is surprised that Kai is still not reading the room. He should think carefully about who's got the upper hand here. If he had just cooperated when they asked nicely, this would have been over already. The more he refuses, the harder it gets to find his dear Mary, or whatever her name is. Even if they are useless and incompetent, that doesn't mean these guys are completely without purpose. Who knows what could be happening to her right now? Kai's expression blackens, and he says, fine, then he will just have to flatten this entire place to the ground. He summons his black ink into his hand, and transforms it into a devastating fist. He jumps high in the air and then crashes roughly on the ground, making the ground quiver. Someone else comes to another boss and notes that they have a problem. The black ink one they've been after is going wild, and he should come himself. The other boss tells his guys to stop standing around and go buy them time until he gets here. However, it's pretty clear that they are losing, as he is punching people left and right, leaving them unconscious. Just what kind of monster is this bastard? Suddenly though, the other boss appears, asking what they're doing here. The first boss is glad to see the branch leader, who was wondering what all that noise was, but they can't even capture a single person. The reputation of Zed, rulers of the Undercity, is completely in tatters. They are all pretty useless. Kai can see just by looking at him that this guy is really strong. The boss notes that he's done it now. He should know their branch leader used to be an A-rank pioneer back in the day. No matter how skilled he may be, does he really think he can take on a seasoned warrior? He should have listened while he was being polite. The branch leader jumps in, trying to crash his fist into Kai, but he dodges and unleashes a bunch of strikes that seemingly do nothing. However, the branch leader is impressed. It's not bad at all, but now he wants to see how he handles a punch from him. He unleashes a devastating fist, making Kai fly into a building, but he seems to be unscathed. He tries to punch him again, but Kai weaves and uses an ink wave blast, making the branch leader feel that his entire color is draining from the inside out. Suddenly, he charges, surges with power, making Kai retreat, as he did not like his trick, that disgusting color of his. And those bizarre techniques are a perfect pair. He doesn't know what else is hiding, but it looks like he will have to get serious. Controlling this power of his is harder than he thought. Well, it's been years since he last released it. Kai looks at him with an unhidden expression of pure contempt. This is not enough. His usual fighting style won't cut it anymore. He needs to be much more efficient, to be sharper, more powerful, and have weapons that won't break against that armor. Suddenly, he unleashes his entire wave of black ink, but also his killing intent, with the branch leader thinking that this is the coldest, most murderous intent he has ever seen in his life. So is this the power of the black ink? Kai has activated his technique, the Arsenal of Malice. Kai begins his onslaught with the branch leader being pissed off. Just what kind of power is this? Kai is using every weapon at his disposal around the area that he created, allowing him to push the branch leader further and further. First with a spear, then with an axe that he swings down relentlessly. He throws the axe away, and then summons 2 knives, which he uses to cut down the branch leader again and again. The branch leader is shocked. This bastard shredded the reinforced parts of his body like it was nothing. Those weapons of his might break easily, but every single one of them is extremely sharp. However, he is an executive of Zed, and he won't lose to some damn punk, and he doesn't care about Blanc's orders anymore. He uses the maximum of his colorless powers, making his fist into a sharp stone, and rushes in with his killer fist. This attack is extremely fast, and Kai has no time to dodge it. It goes through a few buildings before stopping. The vice leader is shocked as he looks down at Kai, who is completely and utterly fine as he blocked it. Nay, he didn't just block it. He began to consume it entirely. The branch leader understands now. So creating weapons isn't his only ability. Just how many powers does this guy have? Well, as long as he can use his color one more time, it should be fine. However, that's when his vision suddenly gets half blocked, as part of the ink has attached to his face and seeped into his eye entirely. This allows Kai to jump in and uppercut him, making the branch leader fall on the ground. He can feel that all of his strength is gone, and something like this should not be enough to bring him down. He knows what this is. It was poison, wasn't it? Kai asks. What if it was? Why should he feel bad for him in the middle of a fight? Now he can't resist being drained anymore. He drained the color out of the vice and the hooligan leader, who can only stare in shock, shaking as he sees the branch leader losing. This guy is a true demon. After Kai is done with him, he turns to the hooligan leader. His intention's pretty clear. Suddenly, somewhere else, Mary wakes up in a pretty empty room. Someone is glad to see her awake. He was wondering when she would finally come to, but she and that other guy really are interesting. Who would have thought that the colorless would draw this much attention to suddenly manifest a color like that? He heard it's an extremely rare occurrence. But what's with this guy? It's like he suddenly grew confidence or something. The guy he knew never had that much humanity in the first place. Hearing this and recognizing his voice, Mary knows exactly who it is. It's the one from before, Blank. Blank himself is glad that she still remembers. That's right, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Mary is shocked. Didn't he die back then? Blank laughs, as he was pretty close when everything came crashing down. He really thought he would be crushed alive, but since he's so lucky and all, he survived. And who would have thought they would end up meeting again like this? Life really is like a box of chocolates and all. It brings back memories, doesn't it? He remembers everything. All of them were very special to him. They were his first test subjects after all. Even though he barely made it out alive that day, he has come quite far since then. Even the boss acknowledges him now. He is one of Zed's top executives these days. Well, she shouldn't just stand there like an idiot. She should come in, as she will see just how far his research has progressed. He opens the door to reveal a gigantic laboratory where the colorless are being wrung like cattle, and a bunch of ink beasts is placed in cages. Mary's face and heart drop as she can't believe a nightmare of a place like this still exists. One of his workers comes and knows that the new batch of extract is here. Blanc thinks this is perfect timing. He wants to see what they have this time. Mary herself asks why he is doing the same thing as he did back then. Blanc asks, why wouldn't he? Something this incredible is meant to be used. Not using it would be the truest sin. Well, he would like to cordially welcome her to his new extraction lab. Chaos reigns in the Undercity. People run away from the ensuing fights, thinking that it's just some gang thugs going at it again, but it's actually just Kai cleaning house. Eventually, he finds himself at a pretty large opening and asks the hooligan leader if this is where they took Mary. He confirms as such. The girl he is looking for is definitely in there. So can he go now? Kai immediately punches him into the wall, making him bleed out, and then he summons Nero, telling him to show him the direction in which Mary is. Nero agrees and jumps down, and at the same time, a bunch of hooligans arrive, rushing him all at once. However, Kai doesn't have time to deal with such small fry one at a time. The longer this drags on, the more danger Mary is in. He's already got a useful technique in mind. He copies the exact technique of the branch leader, as he wants to clear the house in one shot. Sure enough, he smashes through the hooligans and then through the walls, nobody being able to stop him. Mary calls Blanc insane. What is wrong with him? Why does he keep doing stuff like this? Blanc wonders why she is suddenly so upset. There is no need to be on edge. He only feels gratitude towards all of them. Thanks to them becoming test subjects back then, his research finally saw the light. She should look over here. An extraction is in progress right now. Seeing it firsthand is better than any explanation he could give, right? Two of his men are pushing a colorless into some sort of basin, but he screams out as he does not want to go inside. He clenches the door until he can't anymore and is slammed in. The door shuts. The contraption he is in bellows maliciously, and then a bunch of red, almost blood-like color comes out. Mary thinks that nothing's changed at all. It is the exact same horrific sight as before. Blanc explains that this color is the most beautiful one. He can now produce color this pure and radiant. Back during his first experiments, he was lacking. He couldn't get any color at all. He ended up wasting all the samples he extracted from her. He should remember what he said about people who develop color later in life. That's where he saw the potential. What if he could extract the potential anyone was carrying, and it was a huge success? It is not just people, it's from creatures too. It's truly amazing to think that things he thought were completely worthless in the end could transform into such color. He believes this is their very soul, their very identity in fact, and he can handle it and extract it at will. He's bestowing a gift upon everyone else. He's unearthing the world that would have been buried forever. His extraction ability and all of his years of research have finally reached perfection, and this is the result. Mixed. Right now, he's exploring just how it can be used. What he discovered recently is that creatures that are instinctively averse to color can be controlled to some degree, but not perfectly. Mary thinks that they're out of their minds, every single one of them. How can they be so calm about this? They just crammed the living person into an extractor just like that. Do they really think the city is going to let them get away with this? He expected such a reaction, but if he's honest, he never really understood what was wrong with any of it. Well, he supposes this is just too far ahead to be understood. Mary immediately calls him out, telling him that he is nothing but a murderer. What soul and identity is he talking about? If he loves extracting color, he should just extract it from himself. She's sure his color is stained with this filthy, disgusting color, soaked in sick pleasures. Blanc seems to be mad, but then tells her that it isn't, as he already checked. He's already been regularly extracting from his own body. There is no way he'd create something and not use it on himself after all. This is the result of dedicating everything he has to his own research. The very moment it was complete, he put a part of himself in this, so even he shone with such color. He kept it stored very carefully until now. Who knows? It might come in handy someday, right? Mary just tells him to shut up, as nobody asked for any of that. But Blanc apologizes. He got a little carried away there. He should tell her one more thing while he's at it. He heard Kai has come down to the Undercity. He'd expect that bringing her here was the right call to lure him. After all, Kai has always followed her like a shadow, even back then, and all he had to do was kidnap her, and he'd come on his own. What better bait could there be? By now his men should be capturing him and bringing him here. Even with black power, taking on that many alone won't be easy. He tells his men to take her away, as they will meet again when Kai arrives. In the meantime, he needs to prepare for his guests, as he will be having a very special banquet soon. Suddenly, though, the entire facility begins to shake, and from the ceiling, something bursts in, making the entire ceiling collapse. Naturally, Mary sees who it is, and it is none other than Kai. Eventually, the counselor, along with Camellia and someone else, is given a report about this. Kai went down to the Undercity, and right now, he is fighting the Zed. According to an agent report from down below, he is attacking their branches one by one to rescue his kidnapped friend. The counselor asks Camellia what kind of madness this is. She was the one who told them to trust her. She explains that they responded to the situation fast, and she is the one who dispatched the observers to keep tabs on him. It's not like she was just sitting around. Besides, he knows it very well because of this abnormal phenomenon. Almost all of their combat forces have been concentrated on the borders. It's hard enough to request support from other pioneer units too. They are scrambling for resources just to survive and defend the city. The counselor asks where Red is, and Camellia explains that the Collector and the Jester both appeared at another fortress, so he had to rush in and intercept them. The counselor believes that those Black Hands bastards are definitely involved in this abnormality, but first of all, they will need to send in a peacekeeping force to secure his safety. However, another older colorist tells him not to be hasty. Rushing troops in might not be the right move. They could end up provoking countless gangs for nothing, and that would only make things spiral further out of control. There may very well be traitors they'll have to wipe out someday, but their power is nothing to scoff at. A lot of them are former pioneers. If this incident becomes the spark of a full-scale war, the city will descend into chaos. Besides, he still does not trust that Black Ink boy. He's only been tolerating things and watching because he was outvoted by the council, but the fact that he's already causing a mess this big means his judgment was not wrong entirely. Just thinking about what kind of calamity that color of his might bring to this city is horrifying. Maybe they should seize the opportunity and eliminate that dangerous element. He thinks they know what he means exactly. Hudson understands his concerns, however. He intends to have the peacekeeping forces carry out the plan they've made. Kai is the only one who can pull back the curtain of secrets. He's too important. They must protect him no matter what. Luminous sees enormous potential in him too, and he wants to bet on the future he's going to carve as well. He will take full responsibility and personally handle this disturbance. The old man sits in silence for a bit before noting that he used to respect him. He climbed all the way to counselor with such an ordinary color, but he never imagined he could be this irrationally rational. Hudson apologizes. He will try to live up to his lofty expectations next time. Camellia tells him that he's worrying too much. For his sake, she lightened the load a little. She sent other members of Red's team along with the peacekeeping forces, as he knows they are all skilled fighters who proved themselves in the very first expedition. That should ease his worries a bit. The counselor sighs and tells them to move out, handle everything cleanly, and not let the city suffer, and make sure it's all swept up neatly. Blanc stares a bit in astonishment and confusion at Kai, wondering how the hell he got past all of his men and made it here. This really is bad. Kai doesn't even see Mary, he just sees her shape. He needs to take them out as fast as possible before they have time to regroup. He unleashes the arsenal of malice and begins throwing knives left and right, cornering all of them and breaking out the large vials inside the lab. He then rushes in and takes the 2 guards who are trying to take Mary away on the spot. He apologizes for being so late and asks if she had to wait for long. Nero jumps into her arms, and Mary notes that it's nothing to worry about and that she should be the one thanking him for helping. Immediately, the other colorless retreat, as this is their chance to escape. Blanc thinks it's a real shame. He still had so many things he wanted to test, but oh well, he could always find new material anyway. More importantly, he is thrilled to see him again. It has been so long. Does he know how excited he was when he heard he awakened a color, and he survived with that color too? He really is a special one of a kind. Seeing him in person like this only makes him even more curious. He can hardly wait to find out how brightly he'll shine. Kai looks at him and asks Mary who he is, as he looks kind of familiar, and Mary tells him that it's Blanc, the bastard who used to drain them dry back then. Kai understands, so he survived the whole collapse. Blanc thinks that he's a bit rude. He's standing right here, but, well, enough chit-chat. Since they both want something, they should start the experiment with one researcher to another. He throws 2 vials of color at the ground, making Kai wonder what they are, and Mary tells him that he should watch out, as those things lure monsters in. Blanc confirms as such. He doesn't like getting his own hands dirty after all, so these monsters might not be able to kill him, but they can wear him down, right? He opens the gate and unleashes them, but Kai immediately moves in and starts just shredding the monsters. Although there are quite many, Blanc picks up a discarded ink dagger and notes that he shouldn't throw away such valuable test subjects. Normally, color power fades away over time as it's being used, but if he's the one handling it, it should turn out differently. He uses extraction and gets the black ink for himself. It's finally his. He really wants to see how this darkness differs from other colors, but in this much, it should be more than enough, and he is also curious what Kai's power can do. Mary sees Kai fighting and thinks that this is bad. Normally, he would wipe these things out in an instant, but now he cannot keep up. He burned through so much color just getting here. At this rate, he'll push himself to death. If he could absorb the pigments from other monsters, he'd bounce right back. She has to find some way to help him. Suddenly, she sees the mixed ink on the floor. This is a result of those vials breaking. She also sees something else, a form of a generator. She tinkers with it a bit before plugging it back in, and then reconnects the power. She tells Kai not to touch the floor and puts the 2 prongs onto the ground. Shocking. The entire army of beasts proves that she is not quite useless in a fight. Blanc is a little sad, as his masterpieces are all wiped out. With this, Kai immediately puts his hand on the ground and begins absorbing the power of the beast, filling up his reserves again. Blanc is shocked. So this is the power of black, eh? Seeing it up close in person, it even looks more insane than imagined. Even creatures are just food to him now. That insatiable hunger that devours everything without thinking is the perfection he has been searching for all along. He wants his arm. No, maybe even a finger. Perhaps just a tiny fragment. He wants Kai to share with him. He wants to study this pure color to the absolute fullest. Kai charges in and asks if he is done rambling yet. Blanc just blocks his strike with his robotic arm, noting that it's a shame, though he understands obstacles are part of a research process, right? As for getting into direct combat himself, he will have to pass. His extraction ability is not built for such a thing. This is why he came prepared. He pulls out 2 more vials and puts them in his gauntlet, allowing him to use those respective colors. He knows that they actually have quite a bit in common. The way he craves other people's colors and sees them for himself is exactly the same as his. He should admit it already. He uses his green color to unleash a strike that Kai deflects, and they continue fighting until Blanc's attacks shake the entire area. He tells Kai to listen, even though they are fighting now. Maybe they could actually work together. Isn't he interested in joining forces with him? He is sure that if he were on his side, he'd come to truly appreciate his research. Doesn't he want to experience the full beauty of color, the very essence of it? His absorption powers combined with his extraction powers, they could reach the pinnacle of truth, the power he's always dreamed of. Unlike him, he can touch people's colors in their most raw and original form. He rushes in, telling him to give his power already, and presumably strikes Kai, who plants his feet as he naturally absorbs the strike. Using that as leverage, he cocks a punch back and puts Blanc into the wall, making him cough up blood. He admits he did not expect that at all. He really is incredible. He never imagined he could absorb color mid-fight so effortlessly. Though their abilities are similar, the gap is enormous. If that is the case, he will have to bring this out, right? He pulls out the black vial he got from his dagger and puts it in his arm. Kai wonders what he's going to try to do. Is he tired of living? Blanc doesn't think so. He's just trying to collect data for his research, that's all. Either way, this thing was made for him to begin with. Even if he might actually die from this, who knows? That just makes it all the more thrilling. The black ink begins to permeate throughout his body, and it seems that he can actually handle this power. But even a fragment of color carries this much power. His fist has transformed entirely into black ink, along with his right eye. He thinks this is magnificent. He'd better watch out now, because he is starting to get even more battle-hungry. With that, they begin clashing fists, with Blanc noting that this is unbelievable. The moment he tried it, everything became crystal clear. So this is what his color is like. He should reconsider. Does he truly not want to work with him? A meeting such as this is clearly fate. Kai tells him to stop talking nonsense, as he is not the same kind of person as him. Blanc laughs, as they have quite a lot in common. Or maybe the reason he's refusing it is because of Mary. He never really had an identity of his own to begin with, was always just parasitically absorbing other people's colors everywhere he went. He sees right through him. That emptiness of his is his true identity. He shouldn't misunderstand that he's not criticizing at all. He actually thinks he is honest. All this time, seeing so many colors in people, he's only ever envied them, craved them, wanting to make them his own, right? Isn't that where his current appearance and color came from? In the end, he is also just acting for his own goals. At least that's how he sees it. He genuinely doesn't understand why he would try so hard to pretend to be human, but he'll humor him because he is one of the few people who can actually accept his true self. Something in Kai does crack the facade he has been putting up until now, but Mary just throws a wrench at his head and tells him to stop talking nonsense. Who does he think he is? Coming here and talking like he knows everything about Kai. At most, he barely caught a glimpse of him when he was a child. Does he think he is like him? Has he lost his mind? How dare he compare trash like him to someone who treats human life as nothing but disposable tools? Kai is not copying anyone. The reason he always tries so hard is that he wants to change himself. She can't even begin to imagine what he went through. He might be a little different from others, sure, but he is no different from any other ordinary human. Just who does he think he is? He shouldn't dare to look down on him, as he is a piece of filth and a psychopath. Kai looks at Mary, and an almost imperceptible smile plays at his lips. Then he unleashes a burst of power, with Blanc surprised to see that this power can go even further. Kai thanks Mary and charges in with an amazing strike that almost completely shatters Blanc's fist, as his body can't handle this power anymore. This allows Kai to move in for one final gigantic strike that makes cobwebs of the floor and ends the fight. Mary rushes over to Kai, asking if he's hurt, and he says, "It's fine." She guesses that Blanc will not be getting back up. Kai agrees. He's barely hanging on, and this is where he ends things with this bastard. He cannot leave any loose ends. If he leaves, he'll just do the same thing over and over again. Blanc coughs up his color and smiles. This rushed power wasn't enough to beat him after all. It's a true shame. If he has just a bit more of his color, he wonders what he could have done. But he hasn't given up just yet. If it's to obtain his color, he's willing to do whatever it takes. Suddenly, the entire facility starts blowing up. Blanc explains he planted volatile coloring charges all over. They've lost contact with the organization, and he's already made enough of a mess down here. So the higher-ups flip the switch to erase all the evidence, it seems. If it's the end, he might as well try something, right? Suddenly, though, the floor just collapses, and both Mary and Kai fall into a pit of ink. Why is something like this underground? Is this all the extraction room's waste that leaked and pooled here? If that is the case, then Mary will be in danger. Sure enough, she is barely holding on by a thread, and she continues to sink, as the colorless are the ones most endangered by the ink. Thinking that he has to hurry. He has to absorb all of the ink here now, but it would take too long to absorb everything. She will die before he's done, unless he can touch her directly, or perhaps he is too late already. He knows that when someone falls into black ink, they cannot be saved. Why did he gain such a color in the first place? Wasn't it for that beautiful light? If he gives up that light now, suddenly someone within himself asks if he is okay with that, and he very clearly isn't. He continues rushing in. Once was more than enough for such a thing. He will never give up, no matter what. He rushes in and grabs Mary's hand and begins absorbing all of the ink in and around her, pleading with her not to die, as she said she would be there to watch him become a colorist. She said everyone had their own light and color inside, and that he was the same and that he just did not know it. Those were the same words as Lumial. That's why he remembers them. After they came from the Undercity, sure, there was discrimination and persecution too, but most of the people they saw were lighting up those around them with their own unique light and color too. Leaving with her, he was able to realize that if he had been alone, he would have never understood any of it. He would have just stayed buried in his emptiness, not once feeling happiness or joy. But now he understood a little. If Lumial showed him the path, then she gave him a reason to move forward, to smile, so she needs to wake up. As they made a promise back then, the ink is mostly gone, but he sees that Mary is not breathing. But why? He absorbed all of the black. Suddenly she begins to glow with the same light he saw before. Could this be that inner potential they talked about? If he can draw out this light, then perhaps he can still do this. He grabs her hand and thinks that if he just does what he has been doing up until now, he can save her. Suddenly, that waft of her light envelops him entirely, and it feels strange, not like his normal absorption. It feels like a familiar light and color. So this is her inner joy, her happiness, and her warmth. This is the light that Mary has always carried inside, and if it's Mary, it would naturally shine like this, bright and vivid. Using his powers of absorption, he actually manages to awaken Mary, who immediately wakes up and starts coughing. She wonders what happened, as she is sure she fell into some black ink. So how is she alive? Suddenly though, she sees that she is actually colored now, and she freaks out. Kai tells her to calm down, as it's okay, and asks how her body feels. Is she feeling wrong anywhere? He knows this is confusing, but they should get out of here first. Even if the explosions block the upper side, there has to be a way out of here somewhere. Suddenly though, they hear Nero's meows, and the ceiling blows up again, showing Nero, who led both Gale and Ellie here, who are glad to see them, even though this was an emergency. They both seem relatively fine though. Kai doesn't even remember when his memories actually began. Back then, his mind felt like it was shrouded in fog, and everything seemed distant and blurry. Even the boundary between him and the rest of the world was faint. He just drifted along, carried by some huge current with no destination. Every now and then, when the fog lifted and his vision cleared, he would always wake up in some unfamiliar place, but that was pretty okay with him. Wherever that wandering took him, he had a family who stayed with him, and that was Nero. When he had absolutely nothing, Nero was the only thing that stayed by his side. And then one day in that pitch-black world of his, someone appeared who shone truly brilliantly. He told him his name was Lumial, and the moment he saw him, he understood. He was the beautiful light he had been desperately searching for all this time. He left a clear, undeniable mark in his heart. But sadly, his time with Lumial did not last long. After parting with him, he began to wander again through the strange places, and kept searching for that beautiful light etched in his heart. Like a moth drawn to a light, he wondered if he could ever stand before that brilliance again. Suddenly, at the end of that aimless wandering, at the very bottom of the dim Undercity, that's where he met Mary, who wondered why he wasn't talking. Was he mute? Or perhaps deaf? Well, there were plenty of kids like that in the Undercity, but still, it was raining at the time, and she told him that he shouldn't let the water touch him. The old pipe in the ceiling burst, so there's ink residue mixed in the leak. It's bad for his health. As she wondered how he got in here, she saw Nero, wondering why he was walking around with a creature like that. But she guessed it was fine since it was a small type. As she led him to a more secluded spot so the guards wouldn't grab them, the guards did actually come, and they were pretty mad, as she left the designated area without permission. Does she need another beating like last time to come to her senses? He has never seen the kid beside her. Is this a new test subject? Well, this works out nicely too, as they've been looking for more material recently. With that, they dragged them back to Blanc, who was pretty annoyed, letting precious samples wander around whenever they liked. Just what kind of management is this? The guards apologized, and Blanc looked at Mary, glad to see her again, but she really doesn't know when to give up. Even if they are precious samples, there is a limit to how much he can overlook. If they keep this up, they will only be the ones suffering, right? So why try? Kai knew that on the surface, the place looked like an ordinary orphanage, but in reality, it was no different from a detention camp that took kids away. There were fake facilities that clearly exploited the city's poverty relief policies and were hidden in the darkness of the Undercity. Back alley children were everywhere, and using them as cheap labor was considered common and natural underground. But the true purpose of this place wasn't labor. It was experimentation. Security was tight, and the only way to leave was in a body bag. However, Mary had no intention of dying in a place like this. Long before he arrived, she had already been trying to escape with the other kids, and despite many failed attempts, she never gave up. Her unyielding resolve gave the other children hope, and she became the strongest pillar of support for everyone who led outside. In 3 days, the patrol shifts will open a gap, and they can get through there. She thanked him, because of his help. They were going to get out together. He thinks it was around that time that he started to become in sync with her. She also told the other children, but asked them to keep quiet about it. That night was the last night they would spend in this place. Once they got out of here, she noted that she would go to Shining City and learn a craft, and run her own workshop. In Shining City, even the colorless can get jobs. Until they get citizenship, they will have to stay around the outer walls, but even that's a lot better than here. She asked what he wanted to do once they got out, and Kai said one word: colorist. The person he met before was a colorist, so he wanted to try to be one too. This was the first time he showed his own will, but he also knew that it was impossible in the end. He's heard it over and over how powerless and fragile the colorless are. Every adult keeps telling him so. He just followed the beautiful light and ended up here, but that's all. Now that he is actually in this place, he doesn't know what he is supposed to do or where to go. Even when everyone was excited, saying they would get out of here tomorrow, he couldn't understand why they were happy. Well, he is different from all of them. Mary just smiled and asked if he knew that colorless people can manifest color later in life. Lumial, the previous luminous, was colorless too, and yet he shone brighter than anyone. That's why she believes each of them has its own light and color inside. He is the same. It's not that he can't feel it, he just doesn't know it yet, and she will help him step by step. A colorist sounds awesome too. He should give it a try. He hasn't even started yet, so if he gives up now, he will really regret it later. Just trying already means a lot, and failing doesn't mean it's over, so he should just do what he wants to. He should keep his head up too. If he keeps looking like that all the time, of course, he won't feel motivated. However, while they were overflowing with hope that night, the brutal reality refused to grant them a better tomorrow. Children were caught and put through extractions pretty easily. Their desperate struggle was nothing but a useless flail against the inevitability. One of the guards, seeing Mary so adamant in resisting, struck her across the head with a pipe to make her hold still, even in her weakened state. While she was bleeding, she still looked at Kai and told him to run. At that point, Kai felt something boiling inside of him, and he recognized it as what it was: anger. With that, he was hit across the head too, but the others were wondering why they were told to dispose of all these kids anyway. Are they even allowed to do this without Blanc's permission? Another guard didn't really care. They were just following orders from upstairs. He heard this lab's existence was almost exposed. As they bickered about work, and how it sucked though, Kai slowly got up and revealed his true nature. This is what caused the collapse back then. Kai didn't really know what he was doing either, and he just woke up with Mary and Nero over him. He asked what happened, and she didn't really know. She just woke up too. There was probably some huge explosion or something. When she came to, everything was already like this. It looks like nobody except them made it out. Mary feels really sad, as they were all good kids, but Kai saw that people were coming, and they had to go now. If they stay, they will just lock them up again. Mary wiped her tears and noted that they should go to the surface now. They can't survive down here anymore, and they should make a promise too. Up there, they are definitely going to be happy. She's sure the younger kids who went ahead of them wanted that. As Mary and Kai pull each other out of the hole, Gale sighs. Thanks to them, he's now seen the absolute bottom of the Undercity, a place he never thought he would ever visit in his life. So would they mind explaining what the hell is going on here? She was definitely colorless before, right? Why does she suddenly have color? With that bastard Kai, nothing really surprises him anymore. Ellie just approaches Mary, knowing that she became awakened just like Kai, with a color so vivid too. Even among the three great houses, saturation like this is rare. Even nobles won't compare. It really is beautiful. Kai, however, knows that they don't have time for this here. They are in the middle of a gang hideout, and they don't know when the remnants will be storming in. It's dangerous, so they should move out first. The others are a bit confused, and Gale asks what's with him. Even his eyes look different than before. Before they can pry further, Mary just waves them off, noting that they should save the detailed talk for later. Ellie agrees, as there's no need to rush into anything though, because all the annoying trash has been taken care of. Mary is amazed that they took out so many on their own, and Gale scoffs again. He had to rush. He went through a lot of color to get this far. They should both be thankful. Explosions blocked the passages. Gang members kept swarming them, and on top of that, their weapons were just mass-produced spoits again. Still, they cannot let their guard down. There still might be someone lying in ambush as they walk, and Mary trails behind them. One of the guards who was pretending to be asleep wakes up. Like hell he'd let them get away after doing something like this to him. Either way, if they go back like this, just losing a hand or two will be getting off easy. Might as well take at least one of them with him. He rushes in, trying to kill Mary, and the others react immediately, with Kai ready to kill him. But Mary herself unleashes a pretty light punch, which sends a hooligan flying into the nearby wall. She is surprised by herself. Is this the power of color? She just swung her arm lightly. Suddenly, though, a bunch of steps can be heard, and it's the peacekeepers. They go about their usual way of telling them to drop their weapons and surrender peacefully, but then see that only the pioneers they were briefed about before deployment are here. They are glad to see that they made it out safely, and thanks them for their assistance. Ellie notes that they only did what they had to, and the peacekeeper notes that they heard they'd gone ahead and rushed here. But they resolved everything before the peacekeepers even needed to step in. As expected of pioneers, they've left them with nothing to do. It's almost embarrassing. After this, the Shade organization won't be able to move for a bit. They've captured many of them, so they should leave everything to them. They'll take full responsibility for the cleanup. Mary also believes they should be heading up, as it feels like she's been down here forever. Still, she feels strangely refreshed that everything wrapped up well. The others, not being able to contain their curiosity, begin asking. Ellie notes that he seemed pretty different from his usual self. Did something happen? Kai stares at his hand and puts it on his face, having forgotten. Guess it made them all feel a bit uncomfortable, huh? He apologizes for making them worry so much and puts on his mask. He is fine now. He just had some things on his mind for a bit, and it's nothing serious, so they shouldn't worry about it. Gale, seeing this, tells Ellie to just leave it as, it's probably something from the past he doesn't want to talk about until he's ready to say it himself. They shouldn't pry. Ellie knows. Well, now it's time to go back to the surface. Blanc, who is still not dead, begins to trudge along through the Undercity, thinking that he barely made it out of sheer luck, but his condition is just awful. He might actually die this time. Well, this is as far as he goes. He still wanted to see Kai's true self at the end, but it's a real shame he won't get to. Suddenly, though, he hears a sound, and someone coming his way. That someone is Viper, who greets him. She feels like they had some kind of agreement before, right? How exactly is she supposed to take this situation? She went through all the trouble of sneaking into the Undercity, and her trading partner is nowhere to be seen. She finally tracks him down, only to find him looking like he is with one foot in the grave. He had something he was supposed to hand over, so what is he going to do about that? She can see that he is not dead just yet, but this is a real pain. She really didn't want to even use this on a human again, but she has no choice. Even a little poison like hers can become medicine depending on how it's used after all. After a bit, Viper goes back, and her sister immediately clings onto her, asking why she left her behind. Next time she's definitely going with her. Viper reminds her that she said she would be fine on her own. How is she supposed to stay calm when this happens the moment she looks away? The swordsman also knows that she is later than expected. So did she bring it? Viper confirms as such. This is the item she told them about that attracts creatures. It was called mixed or something like that. Regardless, she managed to bring more without incident, and since she helped, perhaps she can take a larger cut of the profits next time as well. Well, now the preparations are complete, so they should begin. She jumps on the giant ink creature, and the swordsman does as well, asking if she's sure this thing will actually work on a large-scale creature. These creatures are disasters that are only moved by the Black Witch's will. He joined her because he was curious about the plan to sweep the city, but if they simply go in a frenzy and attack every which way, then what? If this goes out, they will be at a disadvantage. Viper herself doesn't really like doubters. With the Black Witch asleep, the power that kept the creatures under control has weakened, so this amplifies their instincts for a short period of time. He should see for himself. She pours a vial onto the beast's nose, and it immediately starts to thrash around and move. It's just as Viper expected, and they will keep moving like this. They're going to reduce this shining city to pieces. A perimeter is held around the entrance of the Undercity, with people talking. It seems like the gangs have caused trouble again. Either peacekeepers are here, or they must have really gone overboard. The peacekeeper from before thanks them. All the gang members and the defeated pioneers are now under secure escort, so they don't have to worry about what happens next. Suddenly, someone speaks, glad that they are finished already. Camellia said it was urgent, so he came running, but there was nothing to worry about. People are very glad to see him, including the pedestrians, and Red himself goes to Kai, asking what on earth he got himself into. It's rare for something to surprise him, but this was definitely unexpected. This girl was his friend, right? Mary. She changed quite a bit since they lost sight of each other, and she awakened right after Kai. Well, there are too many eyes on them around here, so they should move to the headquarters. They go back to the Dawn Pioneer Corps, and Camellia is glad that Red brought something incredible again. Another awakened followed in Kai's footsteps. Just incredible. She already knows who she is, and Red asks what Camellia thinks. Since Lumial Awakeners have been one of the most talked about phenomena in the entire city. Every color that has ever manifested in a colorless person belongs to someone with great power enough to leave a mark in history. She is the same, a skilled engineer who even made Kai's ink drain. Camellia fusses over her, with such vivid color too. She really is beautiful. Does she have any interest in joining the Dawn Corps? They can offer just about anything. She really isn't thinking about joining other corps, right? Of course, she's sure just about anyone would want her now, but they will treat her 3 times better than them. Kai just smiles as he looks at Mary, and she agrees. She wants to join the Dawn Corps. There is also something she wants to achieve. Camellia is glad to hear such conviction. Then why don't they start with a contract right now? She should just sign here. Before she can, however, another colorist just comes, noting that he's been listening from outside, and he's against accepting her so easily. There is a test everyone must pass before becoming a member of the Corps. After all, they all go to an arena, and Camellia gets mad. He's so stubborn. She's an awakened, right? Will he take responsibility if someone else snatches her up? The man doesn't even listen and looks at Mary, asking if she is ready. She seems to have chosen her weapon already, so he will begin to explain the test and the rules. It is pretty simple. She just needs to defeat a test golem prepared by the Corps. The combat power of a golem is the minimum standard to become a member. After all, if she cannot even handle something like this, she shouldn't even dream of setting foot into the Black Land. It's already pretty unusual that they are testing her without any prior appointment, but at least as much as necessary for the others to accept her. He knows that she's an engineer, and that she's not used to fighting, but if this color she carries is real, then a test like this is something she should be able to pass with ease. She should prove herself with pride that she belongs here. With that, the test begins, and the golem immediately charges in with a punch and begins trying to hit her again and again. Camellia is scared, asking what he's doing, throwing a child who doesn't even know how to shoot a gun into this. He could have just taught her a bit. What if she gets upset and decides to join someone else? Mary herself doesn't hear and wonders what she can do. Can she really win against something like this? She shouldn't doubt herself, as she has color now, so running away won't solve anything. She just begins pouring her color into the spoit, pushing it to its absolute limit, wanting to bring down the golem in one blow. She does succeed, unleashing a gigantic strike that goes through the ceiling of the headquarters, shocking absolutely everyone. Even the yellow-haired colorist thinks that, even if it was for a moment, she matched his emission level, and this is her first time actually using a spoit. Her potential is enormous. However, Mary can't really stop herself, and her color begins splashing everywhere. She continues pleading for help as she is getting increasingly scared about it, and blows a few more holes into the ceiling for good measure. They immediately get to cleaning out the ceiling, with Mary apologizing profusely, but Camellia tells her not to worry about it. She wonders where such a gem even came from. That was truly incredible. Her power completely exceeded the minimum standard. Even though it was a surprise test and she must have been nervous, she showed them her strength, so she welcomed her into the Dawn Pioneer Corps. Having so many talented people gather like this is truly reassuring. She's looking forward to seeing what they will do from now on. She calls out her uncle, who is that other colorist, and knows that there will be no complaints now, right? He says that he never had any. He just needed a solid justification to make her admission convincing, even if she is awakened. Skipping the procedure directly would have caused an uproar. That power was truly incredible, though, in terms of total color output. She might be the best of the entire generation, and she should stop calling him uncle in front of others. It doesn't help her image. Camellia tells him to relax. They're not in any official setting anyway. If he acts stiff all the time, he will just get cold. With that, she drags Mary away, as she still has a few things to prepare for her, and they still need to finish her admission paperwork. Kai was worried because the test was sudden, but he is glad everything worked out. Red approaches and asks if they are done with the welcome party. They are not busy today, right? They all shake their heads, and Red thinks that it's perfect timing then. He's been too tied up with his own work to give them proper attention, so this is ideal. They should come with him, as he is going to teach them something very important. They go to the training ground, where nobody is right now, so it's the perfect place to cut loose without worrying who is going to watch. There are even a few training dummies left over. They are modeled after hard shell types, so most attacks barely leave a scratch. They should all watch closely if they want to survive out there in the Black Land. This technique is absolutely one they must learn. He swings his sword at the dummy, and it just clicks. No matter how well an ink drain or spoit is made, it's not omnipotent. Sooner or later, it will hit a limit. They will face enemies that no attack can pierce, and others can regenerate no matter how many times they cut them down. What they should do in this situation is use chroma manifestation, letting his sword be encapsulated in color. Ellie and Gale saw him use this against that swordsman. It's called chroma. One extracts the latent color within themselves, saturating their weapon and their body, and uses it to shine in different forms and shapes. Once they layer their own colors, they gain overwhelming strength that puts the usual to shame. So things they could not cut down before can be cut perfectly. They are pioneers, which means that from now on, This is something they will have to polish as part of their core skills. Each of them needs at least one trump card, as they never know what will happen in the Black Land. The others are impressed that it was cut so cleanly, and Kai asks, to become a colorist, do they need to be able to handle this freely? Red knows that this is the minimum. By a colorist standard, these are just basics. Once they reach the higher levels of rank A, they will see a lot of people using them. If they go even further, becoming an S-rank pioneer and passing a special exam, only then will they be able to be recognized as true colorists. Anyway, they should draw their weapons and take their stations. He is going to teach them how to train chroma. It sounds fancy, but it's just an extension of themselves. They know that feeling right before they activate their power, when they are about to release color. Normally they let all the color flow out. This time, they should be different. Instead of letting it spill out, they should imagine the color being absorbed right into their body and weapon. It won't be easy, but they should extract as much as they can. They all begin doing so, but it's extremely hard, and their color is immediately getting drained away. They will end up colorless in this state. Red knew it wasn't going to be as easy as they thought. Still, for the three of them, this is a great start. Some people take years just to grasp the feeling, but they should not get arrogant. Getting a head start might be talent, but turning that into something truly theirs requires effort. Kai, however, just manages to do it just like that. He notes that he's been using it for a while already. So is this chroma? Ellie now understands what he did back in the ruins was actually chroma. Red notes that he is really fun to teach and thinks that, looking back on that time, this result might have been obvious. Right now, he's basically just cramming a ridiculous amount of power in there. He's still just at the brute force stage. Well, it doesn't matter. Explaining the next step would only give him a headache. Most importantly, he is using too much. At this rate, he will end up colorless in just a few strikes. Kai knows, but he still can't control the output very well. He is trying to fix that right now, with his help. Red understands. Up until now, he's been surviving that insane consumption by absorbing more. He tells the other two to keep training, and keep at it until chroma manifests. If they don't want to fall behind Kai, they'd better work hard. For Kai, there is something more urgent than chroma, depending on the situation. He is in worse shape than even Gale or Ellie for now. He shouldn't use that spoit here. They are going to go back to the basics and train to use his color efficiently, pouring out 100 units of power where 10 should be enough. Sure, the power seems great, but eventually it will become a double-edged sword that will bring him down too. He knows he's been trying to control it in his own way, but in the end, he is just pouring color blindly without any control. He is wasting most of it too. He relies solely on absorption, as his fighting style is dangerous as well. If he encounters someone just a little stronger than he is, someone who can resist it, he will be trapped. Imagine a crisis where he suddenly becomes colorless. He managed so far, but can he really count on his safety in a dark place teeming with monsters? Kai understands. Yes, he was in much more danger than he thought. He's taken off the spoit, so what does he do now? Red tells him to first release every ounce of power that he can, as they will start from there. Kai does so, and Red thinks that it's really unbelievable. When he first saw it, he was really impressed, and he's grown this much again in the meantime. Kai, however, is already pretty tired of doing this without any ink. It's tough. Red tells him to keep it just like that. If it drops even a little, he will kill him. Kai tells him that he can't just say that, but Red feels that he can. That's disappointing. He wanted to be a colorist, but he couldn't endure this. Where did all of their determination from before go? Kai gets mad, and immediately notes that he will maintain the state. By the end of it, they are all extremely tired and have gone through their ink deposits. Kai wonders if he has to do this every day from now on. He can't believe it would be this hard. He's lost track of how much personal ink he's drunk. Red thinks that they all did work. He supposes that's to be expected for a first day. They should start wrapping up. They all immediately begin walking away, thinking that it's over, but Red never said he was going to let them go. He never said they were finished either. The real training starts now. To wrap things up, they are going to do some real combat training, so they should come at him as their lives depend on it, because one day, they very well will. Thank you for watching. See you next time.